Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ray Fisher Stadium here at the Wilpon Baseball Softball Complex for WCBN's broadcast of Michigan baseball. Today we have the game 2 of a 3-game series between the Michigan Wolverines and the rival Ohio State Buckeyes. Michigan took game 1 yesterday by a score of 6-0 behind a complete game shutout, first of his career, by the left-hander Oliver Jaskey. Looking to repeat that success today will be the likes of junior right-hander Alec Renard. Renard is making his 8th start of the season, currently has a 5-1 record, holds a 4.34 ERA, and 45 2/3 innings pitched. He struck out 44, only walked 9. Opponents have a 264 batting average against him. The first 3 batters he'll face here in the top of the first inning for Ohio State is the center fielder Trey Gantz, shortstop Jalen Washington, and right fielder Dominic Canzone. Gantz steps up to the plate in that left-handed batter's box, and we're just about ready for some baseball here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The first pitch is fouled back out of play behind the press box here. So the first pitch of the game is a strike, count 0-1 on the speedy center fielder for Ohio State. Gant in yesterday's ball game was 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts against Jaskey as he lines this one towards the left center field gap. Left fielder ranging over, it's Lewis as he makes the grab in the gap, losing his hat for out number 1. 2 pitches, 1 out here in the first inning for Alec Renard. And that will bring up the shortstop, Jalen Washington. Washington, the senior right-handed hitter for the Ohio State Buckeyes, takes the first pitch he sees from Alec Renard on the inside corner for strike 1, count 0-1. Washington yesterday led off for Ohio State, went 0 for 4. As he watches the second pitch from Renard also catch a piece of the strike zone. Count goes to 0-2. On the season, Washington batting .243. The breaking ball here from Renard induces a ground ball to short. Renard fields, throws over to first for out number 2. 2 gone here in the top of the first inning. That'll bring up the freshman phenom, Dominic Canzone. Canzone, the big left-handed right fielder for Ohio State. 2 for 4 in yesterday's ball game, pushed his hitting streak up to 11 games. Over that 11-game span, he's hitting .465. First pitch from Renard here bounces in the dirt for ball 1. Canzone on the season batting .356 with 2 homers and 24 RBIs to his name. Standing back in the box near catcher Harrison Wentz, and he grounds this one back up off Renard's leg. Renard recovers, grabs the ball, throws to first. The bounce gets past Bibbins over at first. I don't think the throw would have been in time either way. We'll see how that one's scored. But as of right now, Dominic Canzone on first base, one way or the other. With 2 gone, there'll be a runner on first for the third baseman, Brady Cherry. That one will indeed go down as a hit for Dominic Canzone. So unlike yesterday, Ohio State not waiting till the 4th inning to get their first hit of the ball game. Able to get the very first one here and the third batter that comes to the plate. It will be Brady Cherry trying to make something of that 2-out single. Stands in that right-handed batter's box, waves the bat out in front of him. First pitch from Renard. Off-speed pitch, catches the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Cherry yesterday 0 for 4. Snapped his 5-game on-base streak. So he steps out of the box here. Now resumes his place for the 0-1 pitch from Alec Renard. Canzone over at first, taking aggressive lead. He's 9 for 10 stolen bases. Does not go on the pitch as the breaking ball misses low and away. Nice stop made there by Harrison Wenson. Count evened up at 1-1. Cherry He's sophomore right-hander, batting .253 on the season, has 4 homers and 20 RBIs for the Buckeyes. Takes another off-speed pitch that misses low and away. And the count will run to 2 balls and 1 strike. Bernard gets his sign from Wentz and checks the runner at first. Now comes set. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball at the knees for strike 2. Starts him off with 3 off-speed pitches and comes back with the fastball. Brady Cherry watched it go by right around the bottom of the kneecaps. Got the call from the home plate umpire, David Ewell, did Bernard. And now the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Got him with the high fastball. And just like that, third inning is over. Ohio State able to get a 2-out single, but can't do anything with it. We're scoreless here after 1/2 inning at Ray Fisher Stadium. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. On the bump for Ohio State today is Connor Curlis. Curlis making his 6th start of the season. He is 3-2 with a .474 ERA in just under 45 innings pitched. He's struck out 46, only walked 13, and opponents are hitting .253 against him. His last time out was earlier this week against Texas Tech in Columbus. Pitched an inning of a third of scoreless work. His last start, though, hasn't come since April 22nd when he faced University of North Carolina Greensboro. Got roughed up a bit in that one. Only went 4 1/3 innings. Allowed 11 hits, 8 runs, 6 of them earned. Walked 1 and struck out 4 in that ball game. He'll look to fare a little bit better against the Wolverines today. The lineup he will face for Michigan is as follows. Jake Bivens bats first and plays first for the Wolverines. Johnny Slater back up to the 2-hole in the lineup. He plays center field. Michael Bernard, the shortstop, bats in his normal 3-hole. And following right behind him is the third baseman, Drew Lugbauer. Batting 5th and playing left field today is Miles Lewis. The designated hitter for the Wolverines is Nick Poirier. He bats 6th. Batting 7th and playing right field is Jonathan Engelman. The second baseman, Jimmy Kerr, bats 8th. And rounding out the lineup for the Wolverines, batting 9th is catcher Harrison Wenson. It will be Bivens leading things off here in the top of the first against Connor Curlis. Curlis, the sophomore left-hander out of Findlay, Ohio, takes his spot on the mound. Winds up, and the first pitch to Bivens misses a bit high. Maybe a little outside there for ball 1, 1-0. Curlis sets up near the far third base side of the pitcher's mound, right on the edge of it. The 1-0 pitch misses high here, 2-0. Perhaps mitigates a little bit of the advantage he has in the lefty-lefty matchups. A lot of times you'll see pitchers move over to that first base side, and it seems like they're throwing from behind the hitter. This one is on the inside corner to Bivens for a strike, the count 2-1. Curlis working quickly now. 2-1 pitch. That one misses inside. Just Bivens spins out of the way of that one. And the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. Bivens crouches down in a left-handed batter's box, waves the bat over his left shoulder. A 3-1 pitch here. In there for a strike. Runs the count full 3-2. Bivens, 26 walks, 26 strikeouts on the season. As he awaits the payoff pitch. This one is bounced foul down the right field line off the protective barrier between the Ohio State dugout and the Ohio State bullpen. So the count will remain 3-2 as Bivens stays alive. Curlis gets his sign out from his catcher Barnwell. Holds that glove in front of his face. Now winds up. The 3-2 pitch. Misses inside for ball 4. So Michigan gets the first runner on here in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up the center fielder, Johnny Slater. Slater had himself a game yesterday. 3 for 4, a double and a triple thrown in there. Drove in 3 runs, including what ended up being the game-winning run on his second inning double. That was all Oliver Jaski would need in the ballgame yesterday. He'll look to tack on the first run of the ballgame here for the Wolverines. Bivens over at first. Bivens taking an aggressive lead against the lefty Curlis. Not going on the pitch as Slater swings and misses at that one. Big hack there from the left-handed hitting center fielder. The count 0-1. We saw yesterday Bivens likes to get those large, aggressive leads off that first base bag. Get in the pitcher's head, take his mind off his duties at the plate as Bivens fakes going towards second, then stops as the pitch misses high to Slater, and the count's evened up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Looked like Bivens had a good jump on that one, but opted not to try to swipe second. Now it's Slater ahead in the count 2-0, or rather, even in the count 1-1. He fouls this one off over the stands on the third base side and off the press box window. So the count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Slater stands about the middle of that left-handed batter's box. So pick up throw to first. Bivens dives back in without a tag. Curtis keeping an eye on Bivens over there. 19 for 22 in stolen bases on the season is Jake Bivens. As Slater awaits the 1-2 pitch. Pickoff throw to first. They have Bivens picked off. He's running towards second. The throw back over there. He is out at the base. Out at second base, rather. That'll be scored as a 1-3-6 pickoff there. So Bivens is retired. There's now 1 out in the inning and nobody on. Slater still in a 1-2 count. Curlis gets a sign now working from the warm-up, or from the wind-up, rather. The 1-2 pitch. Hit high in the air towards right field. The right fielder can zone going back. He'll have some room in front of the track, though, to make the grab as he backpedals into that one. For out number 2. And just like that, the Wolverines go from a runner on first with nobody out to nobody on and 2 outs. That'll bring up the Wolverines shortstop, Michael Bernard. Bernard, bit of a slow game in yesterday's ball game, 0 for 3 with a walk. His average still sits at a more than respectable 317 on the year. First pitch he sees here from Curlis is hit into left field, a line shot. Murray going back. He'll make the grab as he takes a couple steps onto the warning track for out number 3. So the Wolverines get a leadoff walk, but cannot get that run around to score. Through 1 inning here at Ray Fisher Stadium, we're still scoreless. Ohio State 0, Michigan 0. Here on the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. So it'll be Alec Renard out for his second inning of work today. It's going to be hard to replicate what Oliver Jaski did yesterday, the complete game shutout. But so far, Wolverines will definitely take what Renard had in the first, faced 4 batters, only a lot of single. Got through it without any real danger. Got out of it only throwing 12 pitches. That was a big part of Oliver Jaski's outing yesterday, was his efficiency while he was pitching out there. He entered the 9th inning right around 95 pitches. Enabled him to finish the ball game, even though he did get into a bit of trouble in that top of the 9th. Keep an eye on Renard's efficiency today. Although if the Wolverines need to use the bullpen, it is well rested. Haven't seen anyone out of the bullpen since Sunday in Piscataway. Renard's task for the second inning includes the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Ohio State, the likes of Bo Coolene, Jacob Barnwell, and Connor Pohl. Following them, if it should get that far, would be Shea Murray and Andrew Fischel to round out the Ohio State order for the ballgame today. So Coolin, the left-handed hitting first baseman for Ohio State, stands in the box. And Bernard all the way over on that first base side of the rubber fires the first pitch on the inside corner for strike one. So interesting clash of styles here. You have the lefty, Connor Curlis, likes to set up on the third base side of the rubber. Alec Bernard, the righty, sets him on the first base side of the rubber as he pounds another one on the inside corner here for strike two. Ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes against Bo Coolin. Coolin got the start yesterday, went 1 for 3. He was also robbed as he swings and misses here on a ball in the dirt. He'll be tagged out by Harrison Wenson for strikeout number 2 on the day for Alec Bernard, and out number 1 here in the second inning. That'll bring up Jacob Bardwell, the catcher for Ohio State, with 1 out, nobody on. Barnwell got the start yesterday as well, went 1 for 4 in the ball game. The first pitch you see is here from Bernard. He bunts it and pops it up behind the plate, or rather right in front of the plate. Wenson camps underneath it to make the grab for out number 2. So 4 pitches, 2 outs here in the second inning for Alec Bernard. That'll bring up Connor Pohl, playing second base today, getting his first start of the weekend. Pohl, the left-handed hitting freshman, batting .271 on the season. This is his 10th game started. First pitch he sees this weekend is in there for a strike from Alec Bernard, the count 0-1. Bernard really pounding the strike zone now. First 5 pitches of the inning, all strikes. This one now misses inside the pole for ball 1. Evens the count up at 1-1. Holy. A wide open stance in that left-handed batter's box. Holds the bat relatively steady over his left hand shoulder. And that pitch misses just outside from Bernard to run the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Very upright stance by Connor Pohl. Stands at 6'5", 205, and you can tell as he swings and misses there at that offering from Bernard, and evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bernard looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game here in the second. Gets his sign from Wenson, now winds up in the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Bernard fans to that inning, puts him at 3 total for the ball game. Through 1.5 here at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score remains Ohio State 0, Michigan 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you if you also tuned in yesterday's ball game. It was a fun one. We'll also have tomorrow's ball game starting at 4 p.m. Eastern time for you. Find that at WCBNsports.org or youtube.com/WCBNsports. It'll either be the Wolverines going for a sweep or it'll be the rubber matchup in this 3-game series should Ohio State pull out the victory today. If they do pull out the victory today, you have to imagine it would be no small part due to Connor Curlis on the mound. He'll be out for the second inning of work here. He'll face the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Wolverines. Drew Lugbauer, Miles Lewis, and Nick Boye. He finishes his warm-up tosses. And the big third baseman for the Wolverines, Drew Lugbauer, strides to the plate. Wearing the high socks. Michigan in their normal Saturday maize uniforms. Maize tops, white bottoms. The Michigan sprawl across the chest in blue, as well as the number on the back also in blue. White pants with a maize and blue stripe going about halfway down the leg, and all the Wolverines in those high blue socks with the block M's on them. First pitch here to Lugbauer, catches the inside corner for strike 1. Ohio State, meanwhile, with the red tops, gray script Ohio State on the jerseys. Go with the gray pants, and a few of them wearing the high red socks. Second pitch to Drew Lugbauer, misses inside for a ball, evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Both teams using the second uniform combination of the weekend. See 1-1 pitch to Lugbauer, misses low for a ball. Nice stop made there by Barnwell. The count goes to 2-1. Curlis working quickly. 2-1 pitch. Hit in the air and foul over the stands on the third base side off near Yost Ice Arena. And the count will even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Curlis now the left-hander pitching to the left-handed Lugbauer. Winds up and fires. Lugbauer thinks about swinging. That was misses high. The check swing, no swing. And the count will run full 3-2. Lugbauer in yesterday's ball game, 1 for 3 with a walk. Looking to potentially work another one here as the payoff pitch comes from Curlis. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Lugbauer down on strikes. So it'll be 1 out in the inning, nobody on for the left fielder, Miles Lewis. Lewis in yesterday's ball game was hitting in that 2-hole that's now occupied by Johnny Slater. He was 1 for 5 on the ball game, struck out a couple times. His average, though, still sits at .303 on the season. Has himself 13 extra base hits to go along with that, 12 doubles and a homer. First pitch here from Curlis. Swung at and missed on a pitch bearing down and in on Lewis for strike 1. Lewis hitting in the middle of the order there, potentially able to tack onto the 24 RBIs he currently possesses. The 0-1 pitch here from Curlis. It's fouled back to the brick wall behind home plate for strike number 2. Lewis down in the count, 0-2. Takes a second. Now steps in there, toes on that, right on the line near home plate. His back foot near the back line of the batter's box. This one misses outside for ball 1. Trying to get the longest look he can at these pitches from Connor Curlis with that back foot near the catcher Barnwell. As you see from a lot of Wolverine hitters, the toes up near the plate. 1-2 pitch in on the hands and muscled off, hitting the protective cover over the first base stands. And the count will remain 1-2. Curlis has his sign. Again, that glove right by his face as he gets his sign. The 1-2 pitch misses high and away for a ball, 2-2. We saw yesterday starter Jake Post for Ohio State had the very exaggerated wind up, the hands going back behind the head, working slowly. Curlis also has a slower wind up. See 2-2 pitch here, fouled off down the left field line. Play almost made over there by Nick Schnabel, third base coach, opted not to try to get a hand on that one. So the count will remain 2-2 on Lewis. And Curlis on the mound starts with that glove up near his face. Brings it down near the belt as he steps back into the windup. And brings the hands back up when he tosses. The 2-2 pitch. Misses outside for ball 3. So Miles Lewis able to work back from a 0-2 count as run it full. The second straight full count here in the second inning. Worked by the Wolverine hitters against Curlis. So we'll get another payoff pitch here. Swung on and bounced towards short. Shortstop Washington makes the play near second base, then fires over to first to record the out. That'll go down as out number 2 here in the second inning. Washington shows off the range a bit there, ranging over near that second base bag. He made the throw just about in center field. And he was able to spin and set his feet as it was hit hard enough to allow him to do so. Made a strong throw over to Cooley at first. Now 2 outs, nobody on for the designated hitter, Nick Poirier. Poirier in yesterday's ballgame was 2 for 4, scored a couple runs, both of them on Johnny Slater RBI knocks. The first pitch he sees here from the left-hander Curlis misses low and in for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch now in there for a strike on the outside corner, evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Play on the season average up to .314. See 1-1 pitch here, misses in the dirt for ball 2, 2-1. The second of 3 straight Wolverine hitters coming into the game with batting averages over 300. The 2-1 pitch here from Curlis. Is swung at and missed by Poirier for strike 2. Big swing there. Came up empty, so the count's evened up at 2-2. Poirier steps out of the box. Trying to throw Curlis off his rhythm, perhaps. He likes to work quickly. He gets his sign. The 2-2 pitch. Swung at, just barely got a piece of it and fouled off to the 90 behind home plate. Count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Curlis right back up on that mound just about as soon as he gets the ball back. Waits for the hitter to step in. Now a 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on Poirier. That's Curlis' second strikeout of the inning. Second strikeout of the day, and he sets the Wolverines down in order 1-2-3 in the second. Through 2 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score still sits at Michigan 0, Ohio State 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
All right, team, are you ready? Get set and go!
So it's Alec Bernard out to resume his 3rd inning of work. So far, has faced 1 over the minimum. Only allowed a 2-out single back in the first inning that bounced off his leg. He almost made the play anyway. Just wasn't quite able to recover in time, make the throw to first. Here in the 3rd inning, he'll face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Ohio State: Shea Murray, Andrew Fischel, and Trey Gant. Bernard trying to string together a couple more 1, 2, 3 innings if possible. We just saw a 1, 2, 3 inning out of him in the top of the second, followed by a 1, 2, 3 inning from Connor Curlis in the bottom of the second. Both pitchers striking out the 1st and 3rd outs of the inning. See if the pattern continues as Shea Murray steps up to the plate. Murray, the left-handed, or rather right-handed hitting left fielder for Ohio State. Grad transfer out of Defiance, Ohio. See, first pitch is in there for a strike 0-1. Second pitch you see from Bernard, and this at-bat is fouled back to the screen. Count will go to 0-2. And Murray, an intimidating presence over in that right-handed batter's box, stands there at 6'6", 220. Waggles that bat over the right shoulder and watches strike 3 call on the outside corner. Bernard struck out 2 in a row. He struck out 4 altogether on the ball game, and there's 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. Nobody on for the designated hitter, Andrew Fischel. Fischel. Limited action on the season, just his 7th start of the year, his 16th game he's appeared in. Left-handed hitting sophomore has only had 28 at-bats, is batting .250 as he lines that one up the middle off the mound for a base hit into center. So with 1 out, there'll be a runner on first. The Ohio State will cycle back up to the top of the order in the form of Trey Gant. Gant, the speedy left-handed hitting center fielder, already 0 for 1 on the ball game. Flew out to deep left center field back in the first to lead things off. Lugbauer in on what would be the infield grass over at 3rd base, respecting the speed of Gant. He tried to lay down a few bunts yesterday. Not doing so here. He lines this one towards the middle. Diving stab made by Jimmy Kerr. Great play there. He ranged towards the middle of the diamond. Laid out, got full extension, and was just able to snag that line drive off the bat of Gant for out number 2. Put a star on that one. There are now 2 outs in the inning. Runner on first for Jalen Washington, the shortstop. We've seen a number of spectacular plays already in this series from the Wolverine middle infield. Only been Michael Berdar making the highlight reel plays. Jimmy Kerr getting in on the action, still filling in for K.O. Thomas out at second base. Now Washington stands in that right-handed batter's box. The first pitch of this at-bat from Bernard, a breaking ball. Misses just Javi a bit inside there. The count 1-0. Washington also 0 for 1 on the ball game, grounded to short back in the first inning. Bernard keeping an eye on Fischel over at first. They swing and a miss out of Washington here, brings the count to 1-1. Fischel yet to attempt a stolen base on the season. Not exactly a threat to steal, though he has been in limited action, so he still has a chance to change that number. Bernard comes set for the 1-1 pitch to Washington. Here it comes. Catches the outside corner for strike 2. Early on, home plate umpire David Ewell giving some leeway off the outside corner to these pitchers. Did the same thing in yesterday's ballgame as well. Was consistent throughout the entire game, though, so it's really all you can ask for. The 1-2 pitch from Bernard. Misses high for ball 2. Wenson up out of his crouch at that one to snag it, make sure it didn't get past and allow Fischel to get in a scoring position with 2 outs. So the count will be 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the inning. Number 2 at the plate. Deuce is wild here in the top of the third. Now the 2-2 pitch. Fouled back off the press box here and into the seats. So the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Washington now waves that bat over home plate. Bernard gets his sign now. Washington puts that bat above his right shoulder, waggles it back and forth, and grounds one through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Lewis Fields gets it back in as Fischel won't be able to advance the third on the play. So there will be runners at first and second here with 2 outs. Bringing up the most dangerous hitter in the Ohio State lineup, Dominic Canzone. Canzone already 1 for 1 on the ball game today. Lined a single off of Alec Renard, back in the first inning. First hit of the ball game for Ohio State. First hit of the ball game for either team. Ohio State currently leads in the hit column 3-0 after they tacked on a couple more this inning. These pitches fouled off of Yost Ice Arena, out of play here. Count's going to go to 0-1. Good swing of the bat there by Canzone. Made some solid contact. It was behind the pitch from Alec Renard. So just a loud strike. Canzone bat steady on his left shoulder. Now waggles it as Renard comes set. Spins towards second for the pickoff throw. Does Renard, doesn't make it. As Fischel dives back in safely. Wolverine infield, shading Canzone to pull. Bivens over at first, not holding the runner deep and down that right field line. Kerr, meanwhile, in shallow right field. This one is lined deep down the left field line, and that one's also going to get out of play. May have had home run distance. Not sure if it would have cleared the big brick wall out there in left field, but it came pretty close. But Canzone just a little bit too tardy on that swing again, and he's down in the count 0-2. Bernard now trying to get out of the inning without allowing any damage. There are a couple runners on first and second. The 0-2 pitch here to Canzone. Not quite yet as Bernard spins back towards second again as Fischel dives back in safely. It's Michael Bernard covering the bag. He's standing almost directly behind it in that shift against Canzone. Outfield playing still straight up, though. Lugbauer also not able to shade towards the hole at short. This one is lined right over where the shortstop would normally play into left field as Lewis Fields on a hop. He's going to make a throw. It's going to be cut off here by Bernard, and a run comes in to score. Dominic Canzone records an RBI single here in the third inning. Ohio State gets on the board for the first time this weekend. They lead this one by a score of 1-0. We saw in that at bat Canzone really going the other way. Fouled a couple pitches off down that left field line. Got one that he could finally keep in play and lined it in front of the left fielder, Lewis. For a second, I thought Lewis might be able to make a play on it. He was speeding over there. Just the wind right now blowing right to left. It was blowing it back towards Lewis. Ultimately hit too hard and too much on a line to tail far enough for Lewis to make the grab. So it will remain runners on first and second. Washington wasn't able to advance, and the ball hit to left field. Ohio State leading 1-0 here, and it'll bring up the third baseman, Brady Cherry. Big lead out there by Washington. He isn't going at second base as the pitch to Cherry is taken for a strike, 0-1. Cherry, the 6'1" sophomore out of Pendleton, Indiana. Waves that bat over the plate. Now calls time to step out of that right-handed batter's box, steps right back in. That's Renard. Gets his sign from Wenson, comes set. Checks second a couple times. The 0-1 pitch misses outside for a ball, 1-0, or rather 1-1. Renard very conscious of Washington out there at second. 11 stolen bases on the season and 15 attempts for the Ohio State shortstop. That will warrant a visit to the mound by pitching coach Sean Kenny. The infield comes in. The visit on the mound. Good crowd here at Ray Fisher Stadium today. If I was taking a guess, I'd say about 75 to 80% capacity, maybe a little bit more than that. Everybody coming out. It was turned into a nice day here at the Fish. 53 degrees, a bit cloudy at the moment in Ann Arbor, but the sun was shining just before the game started. Really peeking out through the clouds throughout the ball game today. If I'm not mistaken, we have some great weather for the series finale tomorrow as well. Welcome sight after yesterday. It was a bit cloudy, bit disappointing. As the meeting on the mound commences, the Wolverine fielders back to their spots, and Bernard gets the sign for the 1-1 pitch here to Cherry. Here it comes. Breaking ball misses low and away for a ball. Count runs to 2 balls and 1 strike. Cherry 0 for 1 on the day so far. Struck out back in the first to end the inning. Ahead in the count here, 2-1 against Bernard. Pace is noticeably slowed here as Bernard having to deal with the runners on base. 2-1 pitch. Another break ball misses well outside. A great block made there by Harrison Wenson. That ball bounced, I think, right in front of the left-handed batter's box and well over near that first base side. Wenson almost lunged at it, went down to his knees, and able to stop it, keep it close enough where Washington and Canzone wouldn't be able to advance. Count, though, sits at 3-1 on Brady Cherry. Bernard unable to locate that breaking ball in the last couple pitches. May have to come in with a fastball on 3-1. But first, he turns back towards second. No one covering, though, is Kerr, who is shaded over near that left side. Wasn't running towards the bag at all. Bernard now set for a 3-1 pitch. Does come in with a fastball, and it's fouled back over the first base side, out of play into the parking lot. So the count has run full here, 3-2. Bernard, after cruising through the first 2 innings of work, about to fire his 41st pitch of the ball game. It bounces low and away outside for ball 4. The ball gets past Wenson. He has to chase it back to the backstop. Runners advance on the walk. Washington made an aggressive turnaround third, but didn't go as Wenson was able to get there quick enough. So the bases will be loaded here in the third inning. 2 outs. That'll bring up the first baseman, Bo Coleen. I'm going to blame that one on Morris Fabry, bringing these spoonerisms over from Alumni Field over the left center field wall here at Ray Fisher Stadium. It's got me all screwed up, not even with the first letters anymore. As this Coleen just able to get a piece of that one and foul it off the end of the bat and off the screen in front of the Wolverine dugout. Count's going to go to 0-1. Big moment in the ball game here is Menard trying to work out of this bases loaded jam, 2 outs. Ohio State looking to add on to their 1-0 lead. Pitch from Menard, breaking ball, just misses off the outside corner for ball 1, and you can hear the dismay out of the Wolverine faithful today. Did not miss by much, but missed enough for home plate umpire David Ewell to bring the count to 1-1. This ball is tapped near first base, but it'll go foul as Bivens retrieves right near that first base coach's box, and the count's going to go to 1-2. Green steps in that left-handed batter's box versus the red shin guard. Open stance now. So he waits the 1-2 pitch from Menard, fouls straight back to the screen. Barely got a piece of that one. Did Kulin to stay alive, and the count remains 1-2 strikes. The big first baseman for Ohio State. Kulin, the junior out of Honolulu, Hawaii via Cypress College. Getting a second start of the weekend over that first base. Waits the 1-2 pitch from Menard, and that one misses just off the plate away for ball 2. A little bit of a double clutch there from Harrison Wenson. Didn't exactly try to frame that pitch. I'm not sure if he thought it was a strike or waiting for Menard to be looking at him before he tossed it back. Can't be too careless with the bases loaded. And Speedy Washington over at third. This one is grounded towards second. Kerr fields it, throws over to first for out number 3. So Ohio State loads the bases but strands those 3 runners. They are able to bring across the first run of the ball game, though, and through 2.5 here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Ohio State 1, Michigan 0 on WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. So it will be Connor Curlis coming out to begin the 3rd inning. So far, has gotten the first 6 hitters in the Michigan lineup, only allowing a walk, which was erased when he picked off Bivens back in the 1st inning. So he'll face the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the Wolverine order, in the form of Jonathan Engelman, Jimmy Kerr, and Harrison Wenson. It was the bottom of the Wolverine order yesterday that really got the job done for Michigan. Wenson, the mainstay in those bottom 3 today. Yesterday it was Nick Poirier, Johnny Slater, and Harrison Wenson. Combined going 6 for 11 with 3 extra base hits, all 5 RBIs on the day, as well as 5 of the 6 runs scored. So rather 5 of the 6 RBIs on the day. Bivens, the number 1 hitter in the lineup in yesterday's ball game, recorded the other RBI. And it will be Jonathan Engelman batting today in that 7th spot, getting his first look at Connor Curlis. Engelman yesterday coming off an 0-for-4 ball game. First pitch here. And he sees in the ball game from Curlis, misses low and away for a ball, 1-0. Engelman yesterday mentioned 0-for-4 on the ball game. 3 ground outs and a fly out to center. Was really getting on top of the ball for much of the day. The 1-0 pitch here is fouled straight back to the screen. He was on that pitch. Not able to get enough of it, though, as the count goes to 1-1. Despite that 0-for-4 day yesterday, Engelman still sitting pretty at .305. His batting average on the season, and a .393 on base percentage. The 1-1 pitch here. Line up the middle, but Gant, after taking a brief step in, goes back a couple more steps and makes the grab. So a hard hit ball does not find grass, or rather turf, here at Ray Fisher Stadium. That will be the 6th straight batter retired by Connor Curlis. 1 out, nobody on here in the 3rd for the second baseman, Jimmy Kerr. Kerr filling in admirably for K.O. Thomas. Was 0 for 3 yesterday, but did draw a walk and came around to score a run. The first pitch here in this at-bat misses off the inside corner for a ball, 1-0. Kerr in that limited action. This is 16th start of the season. Is batting .290 with a .352 on base percentage. The 1-0 pitch to him is in there for a strike, evens the count up at 1-1. Despite standing all the way over on that third base side, the lefty Curlis still able to be effective so far against these lefties in the Wolverine order. It's the 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball. Kerr stays back, but fouls it down the left field line into the Michigan bullpen. And the count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kerr now is back foot all on that back line near the catcher. It's the 1-2 pitch here. Misses on the inside corner for a ball. The count goes to 2-2. Kerr doesn't take much time between pitches. Neither does Curlis. It's the 2-2 pitch. Hit high and deep towards right center field. The right fielder, Canzone, running back near the track. That's going to get down and bounce over the wall for a ground rule double. Johnny Kerr gets the Wolverines in the hit column here in the 3rd. He'll be on second with only 1 down, bringing up the catcher, Harrison Wenson. And a great swing of the bat there by Kerr to deposit one into that right center field gap. Canzone looked at a beat on it off the bat, got a good jump. Sprinted after that one, but couldn't get there as Kerr found that power alley in right center field, bounced right over the sign reading 35 Big Ten titles. Here on the padded wall at Ray Fisher Stadium. Wenson now steps up to the plate for his first look of the day at Connor Curlis. This one misses. Low and away for a ball. The count 1-0 now on the big Wolverine catcher. Wenson 1 for 3 yesterday with that long 2-run home run that really broke the game open and knocked starting pitcher Jake Post out of the ballgame. The starting pitcher today, Connor Curlis, comes set as Kerr takes off with the pitch. The pitch misses inside, and Kerr swipes third as the throw is late from Barnwell. A great jump there by Jimmy Kerr. He steals his 2nd bag of the season in the 2nd attempt. Now there's a runner on 3rd with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Curlis now comes set and the pitch. This one misses low for a ball. Wenson showing a good eye in this at bat. Count goes to 2-1. That was called a strike on the inside quarter to Wenson. So Wenson now in control of the count though. Up 2-1. If he can get a fly ball to the outfield, should score. Kerr from tie this game up. He hits a fly ball, but it's a foul fly ball over the stands on the right side here and out of play. So the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Senior out of Farmington Hills, Michigan. Stands in there and awaits the 2-2 pitch here from Connor Curlis. Here it comes. Swung on and hit high and deep towards center. The center fielder, Gant, running back. He'll have plenty of room in front of the track, but he has no shot here at throwing out Jimmy Kerr. He'll trot home from 3rd. That'll go down as a sac fly for Harrison Wenson. This ball game is tied up 1-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Both teams tacking on their first run of the ball game here in the third. It was Ohio State in the top of the third on the Dominic Canzone single. Well, Michigan now evening things up with a sacrifice fly from Harrison Wenson. We'll cycle back to the top of the Wolverine order now with Jake Bivens. He squares around on the first pitch, pulls back, and takes it for a ball. The count 1-0. Once he really gave that ball a ride tomorrow, or rather yesterday, with the wind blowing out, that might drift over the wall. As the second pitch here to Bivens catches the outside corner for a strike, evens things up at 1-1. Bivens yet to record an official at bat. He walked to lead off the bottom of the first. This time he takes a pitch low and away for a ball. The count goes to 2-1. Grillis again working quickly just about all day long. 2-1 pitch, line, leaping grab made there by Washington at short. It's a bit of a looping liner. It was twisting. Washington didn't really have to move a lot. Made more of a half-hearted hop to record out number 3. But the Wolverines able to score a run on the sacrifice fly by Harrison Wenson after 3 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Michigan 1, Ohio State 1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. It'll be Alec Bernard resuming duties here at the top of the 4th inning. He was cruising along through the first 2. Got in a bit of trouble in the third after striking out the first batter. He allowed a single. Was able to record the second out on a diving stab by Jimmy Kerr. And then gave up 3 straight base runners. Allowed Ohio State to get on the board. To Bernard's credit, he was able to strand the bases loaded after getting Coach Poulin to ground out. Here in the 4th, he'll face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the Ohio State lineup. Jacob Barnwell, Connor Pohl, and Shea Murray. Looking to get back on the right track here after recording 3 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, 4 strikeouts in the first 2 and a third. Looked like he was in command. He was really attacking the strike zone and seemed to lose his breaking ball command just a bit as he got into trouble there in the third. Will be the catcher, Jacob Barnwell, stepping up to the plate to start things here in the 4th. Barnwell 0 for 1, tried to bunt his first time up in the 2nd inning and popped it up to the catcher, Harrison Wenson. This time he does not square around on the first pitch and takes a breaking ball that misses outside for ball 1. Now Bernard working quickly now. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike at the belt. Evens the count out that 1 ball and 1 strike. Bernard getting his sign, winding up in the 1-1. Big swing and miss there. He took something off that one and had Barnwell out in front. The count goes to 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch from Bernard. Just off the outside corner there. Breaking a bit of a trend there by David Ewell over the last couple days. He's been calling that outside corner rather generously. So this one is popped up high near the right side. It's in foul territory. Does Bivens have room? He does to make the grab just in front of the protective wall between the Ohio State bullpen and Ohio State dugout. So that'll go as out number 1 here in the top of the 4th. With 1 out, nobody on, that will bring up the second baseman, Connor Pohl. Pohl 0 for 1 on the ballgame, struck out swinging against Bernard back in the 2nd. This time around, the first pitch he sees is on the outside corner for strike 1. Again, when Pohl steps up, you can't help but notice that tall frame in that left-hand batter's box. Has an upright stance. So he takes strike number 2 on the inside corner here. Bernard back to pounding the strike zone, ahead in the count 0-2 here. See if he can command that breaking ball. Opts not to go for it as he goes a fastball that is fouled back to the left side and out of play. Bull stays alive. Count remains 0-2. Renano takes a breath. Gets the sign from Wenson. Winds up. And another 0-2 pitch. Misses off the plate away and high. Going to bring the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bull holding a .265 batting average on the season. Again, just his 10th start as he takes strike 3 called. Bernard has struck out Bull twice. He's got a total of 5 in the game. And there are 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Nobody on for the left fielder, Shea Murray. On the topic of striking out looking, Shea Murray 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking to begin last inning back in the 3rd. This time the first pitch he sees from Bernard is a breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. Bernard trying to work that breaking ball early on in the counts. The 0-1 pitch here. Misses off the plate away for a ball, 1-1. Murray doesn't step out between pitches. Just stands in the box there. Stares over at Renard for the 1-1, and this one is fouled back behind the plate and out of play. So the count's going to go to 1-2 on Shea Murray. Murray, after having his on-base streak snapped yesterday, looking to start another one here today. Down 1-2 in the count, though, in this at-bat. He swings and misses for strike 3. Alec Bernard, 6 strikeouts in the game now. He goes 1-2-3 in the 4th. Through 3.5 here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Michigan 1, Ohio State 1 on WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. Got a really healthy crowd here at Ray Fisher Stadium. You can hear them bustling between the innings here, going to take care of concessions, bathroom breaks, whatever is necessary at the time. I've seen several teams here today. We got a couple behind the Michigan dugout, one right in front of us here in the press box. Always nice to see the big groups making the outing of it at the ball game. I'm sure we'll see the same for tomorrow's game, the series finale. This 3-game rivalry matchup between Ohio State and Michigan. Michigan looking to extract some revenge against Ohio State. Last year went 0 for 5 against the Buckeyes in their 5 meetings. So far 1-0 here. And Oliver Jaskey touched on it a bit in his post-game interview yesterday, mentioning how last year they did go 0-5 against the Buckeyes, contributed to the downfall of their season. Yesterday's win extra sweet for him and the Wolverine team. So will be Johnny Slater here to lead things off in the bottom of the 4th for Michigan. Following him will be the shortstop Michael Bernard and the 3rd baseman Drew Lugbauer. Slater 0 for 1 on the ball game, hit a hard hit ball to right, but flew out back in the 1st. He takes a pitch low and in here as he dances out of the way, and the count goes to 1-0. Another 1-0 pitch. This is ground to the right side. The second baseman, Cole, started towards the middle of the infield, then had to range over closer to the line. Made a running snag and tossed over to first for out number 1. So 2 pitches, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning for Connor Curlis. That'll bring up the shortstop for Michigan, Michael Bernard. Bernard, the senior shortstop for the Wolverines. 0 for 1 on the ball game, lined out to left field. Another hard hit ball back in the 1st inning. This time he takes the first pitch he sees on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. That hard hit ball back in the first inning was a first pitch swing there from Berdar. You don't see that a whole lot. Likes to work the count. This time he lines the second pitch he sees into left center field for a base hit. Will he try for two? He is trying for two. The throw there is going to be offline. So Michael Berdar scoots into second, standing up with a one-out double in the fourth. Now a runner in scoring position after that nice swing of the bat there from Michael Berdar. The Wolverine leader in runs batted in, Drew Lugbauer. Lugbauer, the big lefty, stands in there at 6'3", 220 from Pleasant Valley, New York. Getting his second look today at Connor Curlis. He struck out swinging back in the second. Curlis spins back towards second base. Berdar scampers back without a throw. The Ohio State infield playing Berdar to Pole here. The second baseman Pole playing a couple steps into right field. The shortstop Washington covering second in case they pick off the Berdar, but also shaded over that way. As the first pitch to Lugbauer is fouled back to the screen. The count 0-1. Berdar a threat to steal out there. 16 stolen bases on the year in 20 attempts. Can't take too big of a lead here with Washington covering. As Curlis looks back at Berdar at second. Now Berdar stealing on the pitch. The pitch is a strike, and Berdar gets in there after a high throw. Pulls Cherry away from the bag. Berdar, with his 17th stolen base of the season, puts a runner on third with one out. Lugbauer in an 0-2 hole, though, at the plate. The throw looked like it would have beat Berdar had it been on line, but Cherry had to jump to snag that one from Barnwell, prevent it from going into left field. And thus Berdar able to take third. Now the 0-2 pitch to Lugbauer here, off the plate away, trying to get Lugbauer to chase. He did not bite on that one. So the count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now Curlis coming set. Looking to retire Lugbauer for the second time today. 1-2 pitch. Lined into left field, and that is going to stay fair for a base hit into the corner. Lugbauer around first as Berdar comes in to score. He'll slide into second base with an RBI double. Drew Lugbauer lines one in the left field corner. Berdar scores the second Wolverine run of the ball game, and they now lead by a score of 2-1. Lugbauer just going with the pitch on that 1-2 offering from Curlis. Lining it into that left field corner. Murray did a nice job of fielding it and getting it in, but again, just too far away from that second base bag. Lugbauer able to lumber into second and slide in there without any real threat of being thrown out. Now Miles Lewis will look to drive in another Wolverine run here. Runner on second, 1 out. First pitch here from Curlis is bounced towards third. It's foul, according to third base umpire Mike Duffy. It was bouncing right on that line for the most part. Third baseman Cherry fielded it just about a foot into foul territory. So the count will be 0-1 on Lewis. Lewis so far 0-for-1 on the ball game. He grounded out to short after a 7-pitch at bat back in the second. Curlis will spin back towards second. Lugbauer scampers back safely. Lugbauer not the stolen base threat we saw with Michael Berdar out there. Just 2 attempted steals on the season, and he swiped 1 bag. Takes a conservative lead off second. The 0-1 pitch to Miles Lewis misses high for a ball, 1-1. Lewis batting .309 on the season with runners in scoring position. If he can get a knock here, a solid chance Lugbauer can come around to score. And tack on Lewis's 25th run batted in. Have to wait a second, though, as Lewis, after flipping the hair back, putting back on his helmet, stepping into the box. Now the 1-1 pitch. Misses inside for a ball. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Lewis looks to be seeing the ball well out of the hand of Curlis in this at-bat. Taking a couple close pitches here to run the count to 2-1. And Curlis, like Bernard before him, likes to work quickly with no one on, but when runners get on, the pace noticeably slows. As he stares back at Lugbauer. Now the 2-1 offering, fouled back just past the press box and into the parking lot here. So the count will run to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lewis be switch hitting more. Batting from the right side. Stands in there, the 2-2 pitch from the left-hander Curlis. Will have to wait as he spins back again towards second. Doesn't attempt to throw this time. Lugbauer sprints back to the bag. As the second baseman Pohl shaded over and covering the bag at second. With Lewis batting from the right side. Not a overwhelming shift like we've seen against the likes of Drew Lugbauer. As the 2-2 pitch is fouled back once again out of play here into the parking lot over the press box. On the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miles Lewis able to stay alive with that one. Pitch was maybe just a bit up, but too close to take there from Lewis. Got underneath it, able to get enough of it to foul it out of play. Looking to put together another lengthy at-bat here in the bottom of the 4th. The 2-2 pitch. This one misses low for a ball. Nice stop made there by Barnwell, the catcher, to keep Lugbauer at second. But the count has run full on Miles Lewis for the second time in his 2 at-bats. Rounded out on the 7th pitch, or rather the 8th pitch of the at-bat back in the 2nd. This will be the 7th pitch of this one. Now here it comes. This one is hit high and deep down the right field line. The right fielder Canzone giving chase near the bullpen wall. That one's going to hook into the Ohio State bullpen, foul out of play. So the count will remain 2-2, or rather 3-2. Wolverines, only having 3 hits on the ball game, able to push across a couple runs and are really working the count against Connor Curlis. 67 pitches on the ball game here in the 4th. In no small part to Miles Lewis, who will see his 16th pitch of the day, his 8th pitch of the at-bat from Curlis right here. And it is hit high on that right field line again hooking near that Ohio State bullpen. But an over-the-shoulder grab made by Coolin, the first baseman. He sprinted back. What a play there. I didn't think he had a shot at getting that ball, but he's able to make it just in front of that barrier for out number 2. Nice play made there by Coolin. Willie Mays-esque and appropriate given today is Willie Mays' birthday. So happy birthday to the Say Hey Kid. There are 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Runner on second, bringing up the designated hitter Nick Poirier, but he's going to have to wait a second. So we're going to get a mound visit here before the Wolverine designated hitter comes to the plate. There appears to be a little bit of action now stirring in the Ohio State bullpen. Curlis just pitched a few days ago against Texas Tech, only went an inning and a third, but not sure how long Ohio State head coach Greg Beals is going to leave him out there. Again, his pitch count all the way up at 68 at the moment here in the 4th. As he gets a mound visit from pitching coach Mike Stafford. That visit commences. The Ohio State Buckeyes go back to their places on the diamond. It'll be the lefty Curlis trying to retire the lefty Poirier. to end the fourth inning. Michigan leading here 2-1 after scratching across a run on an RBI double from Drew Lugbauer here in the bottom of the fourth. Curlis is now ready. He comes set, and the first pitch to Poirier. Misses low and in for a ball, 1-0. Poirier 0 for 1 on the ball game. Struck out looking against Curlis back in the first inning. That one a 6-pitch at bat. A lot of long at bats here from the Wolverines today. On just its second pitch though, and that second pitch is fouled off down the left field line and out of play, bouncing off the indoor training facility. And the count's going to even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Curlis trying to work out of a jam here, only giving up 1 run. Still has that runner at second in the form of Lugbauer. And the 1-1 pitch. Fouled off by Poirier over that left side again, almost the exact same spot. Out of play. And the count's going to go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Curlis looking to record his 3rd strikeout of the game and make Poirier a strikeout victim for the 2nd time in today's ball game. He'll get his sign to try to do so. Comes set with the glove around the belt and the pitch. Hit high and deep towards right field. The right fielder can zone. Going back, though, he'll have room in front of the track to make the grab in deep right center field for out number 3. So Poirier gave it a ride, but came up empty. The Wolverines did not come up empty, though, in the bottom of the 4th inning. They scratch across 1 run on the RBI double by Drew Lugbauer after 4 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Michigan 2, Ohio State 1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. As we have an appropriately themed horse race here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Today, of course, the Kentucky Derby. That one should take place at the conclusion, or well after the conclusion of this game, especially the pace we're currently headed at. We're through 4 innings here. It's about 1 hour 10 worth of play. And part of that quick pace is due to Alec Renard. Renard, aside from the 3rd inning in which he got into a bit of trouble and the pace stalled for a bit, has been cruising along through 4 innings. He's only given up 4 hits, allowed a run, walked 1, but struck out 6. Here in the 5th inning, he'll face the 9-hitter to start things off, Andrew Fischel. Then back to the top of the Ohio State order, and Trey Gant and Jalen Washington. Fischel now the left-handed hitting designated hitter for Ohio State. Getting his first start of the weekend. Already 1 for 1 on the day, single in the very first pitch he saw from Renard back in the 3rd. Came around to score Ohio State's only run of the game, only run of the weekend so far. This time the first pitch to Fischel misses outside for a ball, count 1-0. Fischel's batting average now to .276 on the season. He watches this one miss low and in now, and the count runs to 2 balls and no strikes. Not afraid to take a walk, though, is Fischel. In that limited action, he's got 4 walks and only 29 at-bats. 33 total plate appearances. He watches another pitch here miss, this time high for ball 3. Renard's missed outside, inside, and now high. This time he does not miss, though, and that one's in there for a strike to bring the count to 3-1. Fischel, the wide open stance. Left-handed batter's box, hits one high in the air near that left side. The left fielder Lewis giving chase near that barrier. He makes the grab just about a step in fair territory for out number 1 here in the 5th inning. So with 1 out and nobody on, we'll go back to the top of the Ohio State order for the 3rd time in the ballgame today. It'll be the speedy center fielder Trey Gant. Gant, so far 0 for 2 on the day. Struck the ball well both times, though. Hit a long fly ball to left center that was tracked down by left fielder Lewis. This time he bunts one up near the plate. Wenson going back. He makes the grab behind home plate on that Michigan logo for out number 2. Second time in the ball game today, we've seen Ohio State pop up a bunt and Wenson able to corral it. This time off the bat of Trey Gant. Earlier it was off the bat of Jacob Barnwell. So now 2 outs in the inning. Nobody on, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Jalen Washington. Washington 1 for 2 on the ball game. The first pitch from Menard here. Catches the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Single back in the third inning did Washington. Was stranded at third. This one misses off the plate away for a ball, 1-1. He was part of the 3 consecutive batters to reach base against Renard that ended up leading to a run. This one is fouled back to the screen behind home plate. The count 1-2. Going back to Trey Gant, though, kind of odd to see him square around there. I just said he squared the ball a couple times on the ball game. And the very first pitch, he squared around and popped it straight up. We know the Wolverines are cognizant of his speed. Lugbauer was playing in at third. It squared around anyway. Washington now down on the count 1-2. He hits this one high and deep towards right field, but Engelman is able to range over near the line to make the grab. That ball was really knocked down by that wind blowing from right to left. Looked like it was going to go a lot farther off the bat. Engelman was able to make the play with plenty of room for out number 3. So a second straight 1-2-3 inning put together here by Alec Renard. We're halfway home here at Ray Fisher Stadium through 4.5 innings. The score, Michigan 2, Ohio State 1. On the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball, brought to you by WCBN Sports. It will be Connor Curlis resuming duties here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Currently sitting at 72 pitches on the ball game. We'll see how long the leash is for him. In the 5th, due up for the Wolverines to face Curlis is the bottom third of the order. Jonathan Engelman, Jimmy Kerr, and Harrison Wenson. And just like we saw yesterday, the bottom of the order getting the job done back in the 3rd inning was the same 3 batters that led off. Engelman had a hard line drive to center that was caught, but it was Jimmy Kerr doubling, stealing second, and Harrison Wenson hitting a sacrifice fly to drive him in. That at the time evened things up for the Wolverines in the 3rd. Here in the bottom of the 5th, though, Michigan leads by a score of 2-1 after scoring in each of the last 2 innings. We'll look for that trend to continue as Jonathan Engelman steps up to the plate. Mentioned Engelman lined out a hard hit ball to center back in the 3rd. Starts off this weekend 0 for 5, but putting the ball in play all 5 times. Normally a good sign if you're in a slump and not really striking out. Some of those balls are bound to find some turf at some point. This one does find some turf. He's bounced to 3rd. A backhanded stop made there by Cherry. The throw to first. Gets past the first baseman, Poulin. And Engelman will be on base. I think the throw would have beaten Engelman there. We'll see how that one is scored. Regardless of how it's scored, though, Engelman will be on first base with nobody out here in the 5th. I will bring up the second baseman, Jimmy Kerr. So Jimmy Kerr, after a bit of a talk there with head coach Eric Bakich, steps up to the plate in that left-handed batter's box. 1 for 1 on the day with that double into deep right center field that hopped over the wall back in the 3rd. Brings his average up over 300 to 302. This time he squares around a bunt, pulls back, and takes the pitch low and in. The count 1-0. That Engelman ball in play was scored a hit. So the Wolverines' 4th hit of the ball game, Engelman's 1st hit of the weekend. Has things started for the Wolverines here in the 5th. Kerr now awaits the 1-0 pitch from Curlis. But first, a pickoff throw over to first, chases Engelman back with a dive, got back with plenty of time to spare. Engelman 7 stolen base on the season in 8 attempts, but most likely just trying to get a good aggressive secondary with Kerr squaring around on that first pitch. We'll see if he's squaring around here. He is. This is bunted down the first base line. It'll be the pitcher Curlis to make the play. He runs towards first, underhands to Kulin, but a well-placed sacrifice bunt there by Jimmy Kerr moves Engelman up to second. For the big catcher for the Wolverines, Harrison Wenson.
Number 7, Harrison
Wenson, no official at-bat on the day, had that sac fly back in the 3rd to drive in the first run of the ball game for Michigan. Put a good swing on it, hit it to deep center. As I said earlier, if that wind was blowing out like it was yesterday, that might be able to carry over the wall. Today, though, going from right to left. Wenson, though, hitting the ball hard so far in this series. That big 2-run homer yesterday, the long fly ball today. See if he can do it again here in this at-bat. I'll have to wait, though, as the first pitch from Curlis misses well outside and low. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. There's some stirring in the Ohio State bullpen, but no one up and throwing at the moment. As Curlis comes set here, he'll fire his 77th pitch of the ball game in just a second. First, he turns back to chase back Engelman at second. Wolverines already have swiped third twice in the ball game today. It was Jimmy Kerr back in the 3rd that made that sacrifice fly possible. And it was Michael Berdar back in the 4th. This time it's Engelman out there. He takes his lead, not going as Wenson takes the 1-0 pitch from Curlis outside. The count 2-0. All series long, Michigan has been very aggressive with the base running. An aggressive base running team in general. 5 Wolverines have double-digit steals on the season. As Wenson now ready for the 2-0 pitch. Takes a pitch that is at the knees for strike 1. Wenson doesn't agree there as he leans back after the call made by home plate umpire David Ewell. Normally when you see a catcher up there disagreeing with the call, tends to quip at the umpire, my pitcher better get that one too. Wenson opts to go the silent route though. Shows his displeasure through the body language, but he steps back in now for the 2-1 pitch. It's on its way. Big swing and a miss there from Wenson. Good move around the pitch from Curlis, moving away from the big, powerful righty. Wenson was able to get a piece of it, fouled into the glove of Barnwell, but not enough. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Michigan leading 2-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 gone and a runner on second. 2-2 pitch to Wenson. Misses low and away for a ball. Count has run full, 3-2. It's pretty apparent where the Ohio State Buckeyes want to work Harrison Wenson here in this at-bat. It's about every pitch trying to pound that low outside corner. Curlis has missed a couple of times, including the one that was foul tipped by Wenson. Left that one a little bit up. But for the most part, catcher Barnwell has been pretty much planted on that outside corner all at bat long. So after another spin back to keep Engelman close at second, Curlis comes set. And the payoff pitch to Wenson. Swung at and fouled straight back to the screen. Wenson was on that one and able to stay alive here. The count will remain 3-2. Engelman took a nice aggressive secondary after that pitch. Not sure if he's trying to time up Curlis here, maybe try to swipe third. Potential dangerous proposition, though, is once it is relatively strikeout prone at the plate, leads the Wolverines in strikeouts on the season with 56. So Curlis now, another payoff pitch to Wenson. Big swing and a miss there for strike 3. Curlis records his third strikeout of the ball game. There are now two gone. With two gone with a runner on second here in the 5th inning. They'll cycle back up to the top of the Wolverine order for the 3rd time in the ball game. It'll be the first baseman, Jake Bivens. Bivens 0 for 1 on the day. Lined out to short back in the 3rd. And then back in the 1st inning, he walked and was subsequently picked off by Connor Curlis, trying to swipe second. Has a chance here to extend the Wolverine lead with Engelman out there at second. First pitch of the at-bat in there for a strike from Curlis to count 0-1. Curlis looked like he took a bit off that pitch. Bivens wasn't exactly looking for it. Took it right over the heart of the plate. There's the added component of that lefty-lefty matchup. And while Curlis does stand towards that third base side of the mound, and a big swing and a miss here from Bivens on a pitch moving down and in on him. Count 0-2. So Curlis does camp out on that third base side of the rubber. When he comes set, his right foot, his front foot, is across his body and set more near the middle of the mound. So almost slingshots that ball around, especially if you're a lefty, hard to pick the ball up. The 0-2 pitch to lefty Bivens misses off the plate outside. Bivens not biting on the chase pitch. And the count goes to 1-2. Bivens, the left-handed hitting junior, crouches down in that left-handed batter's box, open stance. Waits the 1-2 pitch from Curlis. This one misses low for a ball, 2-2. Bivens staying disciplined at the plate, not chasing these pitches that are not missing by much from Connor Curlis. Pats that back foot as he stands just inside the back line of the batter's box. 2-2 pitch. This one bounces well in front of the plate. Couldn't have gone more than about 53 feet. And the count now evened up at 3-2. Second straight full count here for Connor Curlis, rather. He's able to strike out Wenson with a 3-2 pitch just last batter after Wenson fouled off a tough 2-strike pitch. This time the payoff pitch misses high and into Bivens. He'll walk for the 2nd time in the ballgame today. And their runners at first and second. 2 gone in the inning. That'll bring up the Wolverine center fielder, Johnny Slater. There is now some throwing going on down in the Ohio State bullpen. Connor Curlis had 88 pitches on the day entering this at-bat. No movement from the Ohio State coaching staff in the dugout, though. As batter Slater will belong to Curlis, it looks like. Slater, a left-handed hitter against the left-handed pitching Curlis, perhaps has something to do with leaving him in this situation. First pitch of the at-bat. Breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. Just like he started off the at-bat with Bivens, he goes off speed, does Curlis, to get ahead against the lefty Slater. Slater now awaits the 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there. Got a piece of it according to home plate umpire David Ewell. Into the glove of Barnwell, though, and the count 0-2. Curlis looking to get out of the 5th inning here. Trying to keep the Wolverine run tally at 2. He comes set. The 0-2 pitch to Slater. Ooh, just off the plate away. Slater thought about swinging, but held up for the better of it. The count goes to 1-2. Notice with Slater when he takes at bats, obviously not as comfortable against lefties as righties. Don't have the exact splits here, but I'd imagine not very favorable for Slater against lefties. He fouls this one back over the press box and out of play. The count will remain 1-2. So you're able to muscle that one in off the hands and stay alive. 2 gone, runners first and second. It's Engelman over at second, Bivens at first. Engelman walked, Engelman singled, and Bivens walked. As they spin back towards second, Curlis didn't make a throw, but Engelman was way off the bag, had to dive back in. Might have had a shot at him had Curlis uncorked one. The Ohio State infield shading. Slater to pull. Second baseman pull. Several steps into the outfield. The shortstop over near second. It's Washington this time. Slater fouls this one back and on top of the press box here. That one will also get out of play. Slater able to stay alive and keep the count at 1-2 for the second consecutive pitch. Michigan center fielder, after missing the 3rd game of a 3-game series in Piscataway last weekend, after coming out after a collision with Miles Lewis in the outfield in that 2nd game. Had a torrid day yesterday. Today, so far 0 for 2, and he fouls this one back and into the stands here behind home plate. And the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. Slater put together a nice at bat here, just trying to stay alive. Curlis looking to just try to get out of the inning. Pitch number 7 of the at-bat upcoming. Here it comes. Swing and a miss for strike 3 from Slater. So Curlis able to work out of an inning in which Michigan was able to tally a leadoff single and also a walk, but no runs come across to score. After 5 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score remains Michigan 2, Ohio State 1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast from Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
All right, and the first song is Can't Stop Dancing.
Alec Bernard has retired 7 straight batters coming into this 6th inning. He'll have his toughest task so far in the ballgame today with Dominic Canzone leading things off. Canzone already 2 for 2 against Bernard. After Canzone will be the 4-hitter and 3rd baseman Bo Coolin. Or rather, the 4-hitter and 3rd baseman Brady Cherry, followed by the 5-hitter and 1st baseman Bo Coolin. Bo Coolin, rather. The dance-off commences here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Mid-inning entertainment. Plenty to choose from today. Looked like they took a couple of players from the youth team that's sitting right behind the Michigan dugout on the left side. One of several groups of fans out here at the ballpark today. In addition to everyone staying in their seats in the stands, there's also several down the padded wall on the right side. They're lined up just about all the way down from the Ohio State dugout to the bullpen. And they all watch Dominic Canzone step up to the plate and take the first pitch he sees from Bernard in this at-bat on the inside corner for a strike. The second pitch now is bounced towards Curry. He makes the play on 2 hops, fires it over to first for out number 1. So Bernard finally able to retire Canzone. And there's now one out, nobody on in the inning. That'll bring up the third baseman, Brady Cherry. It was Cherry making that nice stop last inning, but couldn't complete the play. Bouncing the throw over to first and allowing Engelman to reach what was ruled an infield single at the time, now ruled an error. The official score has changed on the scoreboard. Fitting timing for that to happen with Cherry at the plate. He swings and misses at strike one. And the second pitch of the at-bat is on the outside corner for strike two. Bernard in a rhythm right now. It's obvious. You can tell it by the way he's poised on the mound, gets his sign, stands right on the mound. The 0-2 pitch misses just off the plate away, 1-2. Sometimes pitchers get into those grooves where they just want the ball back. They get right back up on the mound, get their sign, fire the pitch. It's one of the grooves that Alec Bernard looks to be in right now. Is a swing and a miss on a high fastball. Sets Brady Cherry down on strikes. Bernard's 7th strikeout of the ball game. And now with 2 outs here in the inning, there's nobody on for the first baseman, Bo Coolin. Bernard entered this inning with just 71 pitches through 5. Currently sits at 77 as he fires number 78 to Coolin. It's a breaking pitch that catches the outside corner for strike one. So far, the key for Bernard is being able to locate that breaking pitch. The one inning he lost it for a bit. He gave up a run back in the third and straight to the bases loaded. This time a breaking pitch is in on the hands of Coolin, and he muscles it just over the center fielder, or rather the shortstop Berdar, who is running back into center field. Out on as a base hit. Slater had a bit of trouble handling the ball. Coolin made an aggressive turn at first, but didn't go to second. Nonetheless, a good pitch by Bernard results in a single from Coolin, and a nice job of really muscling that one off, showing the strength of the big Ohio State first baseman. So he'll be on first now with 2 outs in the inning for the catcher, Jacob Barnwell. Barnwell now waving that bat back and forth as he takes the first pitch from Bernard, a breaking ball. It catches the outside corner for a strike. Barnwell on the day so far 0 for 2. Popped out to catcher Harrison Wentz on a bunt attempt, and also hit a foul pop-up to Jake Bivens over at first. This time the ball misses for, the pitch missed for a ball outside. Wentz fired down to first. Bivens slapped the tag on Coolin in what looked to be plenty of time. But a safe call made by first baseman Nathan Thompson. And Eric Bakich comes sprinting out of the dugout over to first base to argue that call. My vantage point up in the press box, it looked like Bivens might have missed Coolin on the swipe at the hands, may not have gotten him until he got on the shoulder. That's really the only explanation I can think of for how that wasn't an out. The throw down by Wenson was on the money. Bivens caught the ball, spun around, snapped the tag on the runner Coolin at first. But the conversation is over. I doubt head coach Eric Bakich is pleased with the decision, but he does accept it. The count now 1-1 here on Barnwell. Coolin still over at first. As the takeoff play over to first is not in time. Coolin dives back in safely. Bernard now checks the runner at first, comes set. 1-1 pitch to Barnwell. Big swing and a miss there for strike 2. Barnwell trying to avoid being set down on strikes for the first time in the ballgame today. Trying to avoid his 40th strikeout of the year, but he's not able to do so as Bernard strikes him out looking with a fastball on the outside corner for strike 3. Bernard now 8 strikeouts on the day through 6 innings. As despite a 2-out single, Ohio State not able to score through 5.5 innings here of play at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Michigan 2, Ohio State 1. You're listening to WCBN Sports Broadcast of Michigan Baseball, the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball. It looks like we will have a pitching change here for Ohio State. Connor Curtis's day is done. His final line doesn't look too shabby at all. He went 5 innings, gave up only 3 hits. They allowed 2 runs, both of them earned. Walked 2, struck out 4. But right now, in line for the loss is Alec Bernard has matched and so far been better than Curtis on the day. Curtis will turn the ball over to right-handed pitching sophomore Ryan Feltner. Feltner, numbers on the season. This will be his 14th appearance. 7 of his appearances so far have been starts. He sits at 1-5 with a 6.92 ERA. In just a little over 53 innings pitched, he struck out 46, walked 23. Opponents hitting .313 against the sophomore right-hander. And here, in the bottom of the 6th inning, he'll face Michael Bernard, Drew Lugbauer, and Miles Lewis, the 3-4-5 hitters for the Wolverines. Not the easiest task when you're coming out of the bullpen cold. Feltner will have take his chance rather at shutting down the Wolverines, trying to keep Ohio State in this ballgame. It was about this time in the ballgame yesterday where Michigan was able to tack on those 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th. They broke that game wide open. It was 1-0 at the time. After that 6th inning, stretched up to 5-0 and would not look back, taking home that 6-0 victory. It will be Michael Bernard leading things off here. So far, 1 for 2 on the ball game with a double in the left center field back in the 4th. Didn't look like it was going to be a double off the bat, but he hit it far enough where Gant and Murray had to go deep in that left center field gap. Weren't able to get the throw there in time. The first pitch of this at bat misses high for a ball, 1-0. Feltner gets his sign now, works quickly, the 1-0 pitch. Misses off the plate away, now 2-0. Feltner stands out there at 6'4", 190, looks the part. Tall, lanky frame on the mound. The 2-0 pitch is muscled out near left field by Bernard. Murray coming in, Washington going out. Diving stab made by Murray. Did he catch it? He did. And a great play there made by the left fielder, Murray, to rob Bernard for what would have been a bloop single. Perhaps a bloop double the way he was looking on the bases. So there will be 1 out, nobody on now in the inning. The powerful Drew Lugbauer. Hang a star on that play by Murray. The first pitch here to Lugbauer. Catches the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. And hang a star on Drew Lugbauer's day so far. Currently has the game-winning RBI and is double back in the 4th. This time the 0-1 pitch. Good movement on that one. Running away from the left-hander, Lugbauer. Count goes to 0-2. That RBI back in the 4th. Lugbauer is team leading 51st of the year. Down the count here, 0-2. Misses inside for a ball, 1-2. Lugbauer wants to tack on to that RBI total. He'll have to do it via the home run, which he also has a team leading 11. He takes the 1-2 pitch as it misses high, a bit away there. And the count evens up to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Feltner does work out of the windup, given his experience as a starter. Working out of the windup here, the 2-2. Swung on and hit foul down the right field line. Fielded by the first baseman, Coolin, but well into foul territory, so the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the big third baseman for Michigan. After a brief meeting there from home plate umpire David Ewell and pitcher Ryan Feltner. Not sure if Drew Ledbauer maybe didn't foul that one off himself a bit. The way he took a walk around the plate, and David Ewell sort of straight out to the mound to give Ledbauer a little extra time, perhaps. 2-2 now is line. Diving stab by the first baseman, Tulane, does not happen. It comes up empty, rather. And Ledbauer is into first with a single, made an aggressive turn, but opted not to try the arm of Dominic Canzone and right. He'll be on base, though. Runner on first, one gone in the inning for the left fielder, Miles Lewis. Lewis currently 0 for 2 on the ball game today. Batting from the left side for the first time in the ball game today. First 2 at-bats coming against the left-handed starter, Connor Curlis. His first swing here against Feltner comes up empty, and the count goes to 0-1. Ledbauer over at first, not really a threat to steal. Only 1 stolen bag on the season in 2 attempts. Takes a very conservative lead off the bag. Lewis now in the left-handed batter's box. Takes this pitch, so misses high and away for a ball, and evens the count up at 1-1. Ledbauer took an aggressive secondary there, almost faked the steal attempt. Those long strides, he was able to get well down that line between first and second, but ultimately wasn't trying to swipe the bag at all this time. Pickoff thrower was over there. Trots back in, standing up. Got an interesting dynamic over there with the 6'3" Drew Ledbauer over there at first base. Standing next to the first baseman, Boo Coolin, who is listed at 6 foot, but doesn't look like it standing next to Drew Ledbauer out there. After another pickoff throw, the 1-1 pitch misses high and away for a ball, 2-1. Lewis now takes the helmet off, tosses the hair back as he is apt to do. Now raises that bat over home plate, points it near the pitcher, then brings it back over his left shoulder as he waits the 2-1 pitch, rather. And good movement there, and will look to be a 2-seam fastball to Feltner, working its way back from off the inside corner to right out on the plate. And the count goes to 2-2. Feltner now the 2-2 pitch. This one does not hook back towards the plate. Stays straight with the fastball, and it misses inside. Count goes to 3-2. Feltner, like Curlis before him, when he comes set, that front foot is out in front of him, even farther out in front of the back foot. Again, creating that crossfire type delivery. Another pickoff throw chases Ledbauer back at first. Feltner, though, not on either side of the mound like we've seen other 2 starters today. Stands smack dab in the middle. The 3-2 pitch misses off the plate away for ball 4. So Lewis draws the walk here, and there's going to be runners at first and second, and the 1 down in the inning for the Michigan designated hitter, Nick Foye. Foye sitting at 0 for 2 on the ball game today. Struck out looking back in the second, and then flew out to right back in the fourth. Batting average down to .309, but again, still highly respectable there, along with that .415 on base percentage. One of the smoothest swings on the Wolverine roster, in my opinion. So he stands in there front left side and unleashes that swing and fouls one off down the line into the Wolverine bullpen down the left field line. And the count 0-1. Feltner has faced 3 batters, allowed 2 to reach so far, and The one he didn't was a diving stop, or rather diving grab made by the left fielder Murray. So Boye now standing there, slightly open stance at left-handed batter's box, back foot all the way at the back of the box. This time he bounces one over to third. The third baseman Cherry picks up, steps on the bag, bounces the throw over to first that pulls Poulin off the bag. So only one out recorded on the play. That looked to be a surefire double play off the bat. Nonetheless, though, there will remain runners on first and second. This time, though, 2 outs in the inning. And Jonathan Engelman stepping to the plate. Engelman 0 for 2 on the ball game now. Lined out to center back in the third and reached on an error by the third baseman Cherry, whose throws have been a bit erratic today, bouncing them into first base, making Poulin's work tough over there. That was back in the 5th inning that Engelman reached on that. Feldner now comes set. The first pitch to Engelman is a breaking ball. It's in there for a strike 0-1. A lot of good movement on that breaking ball from Feldner. Caught Engelman off guard there. Gave up on the pitch well before it hit the glove of Barnwell. Now Feldner, 0-1 pitch, misses high for a ball, 1-1. And Feldner does what you see some pitchers do, almost a double set, the way he brings the hands up. Never completely comes to a standstill. He adjusts his feet, adjusts his hands, almost a double tap of the foot. The hands first come set around the belt, and he brings them set and stops up around the shoulders. And he gets Engelman to swing and miss at a ball moving down and away in the dirt. The count 1-2. Well, they're trying to get out of the 6th, keeping Ohio State in a 1-run ball game. Engelman now steps in there, trying to extend this 6th. Tack on another run for the Wolverines. The 1-2 pitch, bounced high near first base, fielded in fair territory by Poulin, who takes the high hop, steps on the bag for out number 3. So the Wolverines get a single and a walk, but do not score as they strand 2. After 6 innings of play at Ray Fisher Stadium, the score remains Michigan 2, Ohio State 1. You listen to the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports. So once again, Alec Bernard trots out to the mound. So far, doing just about as well as he can, doing personally what Oliver Jaski did yesterday. Can't quite match the excellence of Jaski. His first career complete game, first career shutout. Bernard not doing too poorly here today. Threw 6, allowed 5 hits, only 1 run. Walked 1 and struck out 8. Here in the 7th, he'll face the bottom third of the Ohio State order: Connor Pohl, Shea Murray, and Andrew Fischel, in which Bernard has a chance to send Connor Pohl and Shea Murray back to the dugout with a hat trick. Both of them have struck out twice against Bernard on the day. But before he gets so he finished up the warm-up tosses here, and Connor Pohl now steps to the plate. Tall left-hander, ready for the first pitch from Bernard. It's a off-speed pitch that misses high and away for a ball, 1-0. Pohl, as I mentioned, struck out twice already on the day against Bernard. Swinging in the 2nd, looking back in the 4th. In Michigan infield, shading Pohl 2 pull. With Bivens and Kerr playing back on the right side. Bernard playing just to the left of second. This one is fouled off to the left side and out of play near Yost Ice Arena. We're in the count to 1-1. Lugbauer, meanwhile, playing more of a shortstop position. Halfway between third and short. 1-1 pitch, 2 pull. It's hit up the middle. Slater takes a step back, now comes sprinting in near the left center field gap and makes the grab on the run for out number 1. So Pull able to put the ball in play for the first time today. Nothing to show for it, though, as there's 1 out in the inning. Nobody on base. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Shea Murray, who there's no way around it, has had a rough weekend so far. He's 0 for 4 with a hat trick, 3 strikeouts yesterday against Oliver Jaski. Trying to avoid another hat trick today. Already 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts against Renard. And he comes up empty with his first swing. 0-1. Now Renard working quickly here against Murray. That one catches the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. So far, Renard able to get ahead of Murray all 3 times. See if he can finish him off for the 3rd time. This one is fouled back to the screen. So Murray stays alive and the count remains 0-2. Renard gets a sign from Wenson. Winds up another 0-2 pitch. Swung on, and this time fouled well over the stands on the first base side, and well into the parking lot out of play. So the count's going to go, the count will remain rather 0-2. Here we go with another 0-2 pitch from Bernard. Breaking ball. Misses off the plate away. Check swing, no swing. Says first base umpire Nathan Thompson. So the count goes to 1-2. Got a 1-2 pitch now here, hit high on the infield. Lugbauer appears to be calling off here. He ranges over near the third base position and makes the grab for out number 2. So like Pull before him, Murray able to put the ball in play for the first time, and once again, nothing to show for it. As there will be 2 outs, nobody on in the inning, bringing up designated hitter Andrew Fischel. Fischel 1 for 2 on the ball game. Singled and scored Ohio State's only run this far back in the 3rd. Also flew out to left back in the 5th. Here in the 7th, he takes the first pitch he sees off the plate away for ball 1. Breaking ball didn't quite break enough back to the plate. Out of the hand of Alec Renard. This one is tapped towards first, but it's going to be fouled by a few feet. So the count's going to even up at 1-1. Fischel, so far, despite the limited action on the season, looking very solid so far on the day today. So he takes the 1-1 pitch and misses low and in for a ball, 2-1. That single in the 3rd was a hard hit shot back up the middle. And once again, drove the ball the opposite way to left in that second at bat. This time the breaking ball misses off the plate away. Once again, can't quite bring it back to that outside corner. Can Renard. So the count's going to be 3 balls and 1 strike on the Buckeye designated hitter. He fouls this one off out of play to the left side, bouncing off of Yost Ice Arena to run the count full, 3-2. Fischel now taps both sides of the plate and waits the payoff pitch from Renard. It's lined towards left field. Lewis comes in for a step, now goes back a few and makes the grab for out number 3. So 1-2-3 inning there from Renard. We're through 6.5 innings of play at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Michigan 2, Ohio State 1. Here on the official student radio broadcast of Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. And of course, middle of 7th means time for the 7th inning stretch. Had some of the kids in attendance singing today here at Ray Fisher Stadium for taking out to the ball game. A nice touch to the usual tradition. Michigan leading here 2-1 in the middle of the 7th inning. They'll look to tack on as it will be Ryan Feltner resuming his 2nd inning of work for the Buckeyes. They'll face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters from Michigan: Jimmy Kerr, Harrison Wenson, and Jake Bivens. First up, Jimmy Kerr, the second baseman. So far, 1 for 1 on the day. Had a ground rule double back in the 3rd, a sac bunt in the 5th. This time here's a big swing in the first offering. You see from Feltner. He comes up empty to count 0-1. Kerr takes his time now, steps out of that left-handed batter's box, now comes back in. The 0-1 pitch. Takes this one high, maybe a little bit inside there. The count evened up at 1-1. Kerr, as mentioned last at bat with that double, raising the average up over 300 to 302. And now he lines that one, and the average is going to go up just a bit more as he'll have himself a single into center field to start things off here in the 7th. So there will be a runner on first. Nobody gone, and big catcher Harrison Wenson striding up to the plate. Wenson so far 0 for 1 in the ballgame. Had a sacrifice fly back in the 3rd, scoring Jimmy Kerr. That was the first run of the ballgame for Michigan, and he struck out back in the 5th. Before a pitch can be thrown here, Wenson was squaring around to bunt, then has an issue with the helmet, perhaps, it seems. He's second out of the box, but everything appears to be good. No major equipment malfunctions. So step in here. We'll see if he will be squaring around, trying to move Kerr over and double this Wolverine lead. He is not squaring. He takes a big swing there on the first pitch of the at-bat. Comes up empty, the count 0-1. Wenson again taking his time, trying to figure out his equipment in that right-handed batter's box. Now steps back in. And he's going to see his second offering of the day from the right-hander Feltner. Here it comes. Big swing and a miss there at strike 2. There's a couple high fastballs with some movement on it from Feltner. Has Harrison Wenson in an 0-2 hole here to begin the count. Kerr over at first base. Has stolen a bag. He stole 3rd back in the 3rd. 2 for 2 on the season. Fakes going here as Wenson foul tips into the glove of Barnwell for strike 3. His second strikeout of the ball game, and there's now 1 out in the 7th inning. Runner on first still, though, for top of the Wolverine order in Jake Bivens. Bivens 0 for 1 on the ball game today. Has reached base twice, though, on a pair of walks back in the 1st and 5th, respectively. Bivens getting his first look at the day at Ryan Feltner. As a pickoff throw chases Kerr back to the bag. Dives back in safely. Kerr taking a moderate lead over there, being more aggressive with the secondary than anything. Not going here as the pitch misses high and away for a ball. Count 1-0. And that's going to warrant a visit from the catcher, Barnwell. Try to get Feltner under control here as that pitch missed pretty badly. Trying to set up over the heart of the plate. The pitch just missed very high and away into that right-handed batter's box. Crowd here thinned out just a bit as the game moves on. We've yet to really see the sun much. Kyle's really starting to roll overhead. So pick up throw, chases Kerr back at first again. He dives back in safely. A little bit closer was the play this time. Kerr perhaps getting a little more aggressive with that lead. He fakes the steal on this pitch and misses high and in on Bivens. He spins out of the way. The count goes to 2-0. So Bivens firmly in control as he gets the signs from Eric Bakich in the dugout. Now crouches in that batter's box. The 2-0 pitch. Line right at the shortstop Washington. He fields. Can't throw over to get Kerr at first as he was able to freeze and get back. So Bivens with his second line out to short on the ball game today. And there's 2 outs in the 7th for Johnny Slater. You got to imagine Slater's happy to get Connor Curlis out of the ball game last inning. He was 0 for 3 against him with a fly out, a ground out, and a strikeout. Didn't quite seem to have a good grasp on what Curlis was throwing. He'll get a shot against the righty Feltner now. Now a breaking ball catches the inside corner for a strike 0-1. Slater had plenty of success yesterday against the right-handed starter, Jake Post. This ball misses outside. It'll even up the count at 1-1. Feltner gets his sign from Barnwell, comes set now, and the 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there from Slater. Count 1-2. Kerr yet to move off first base after beginning the inning with a leadoff single. Takes his lead over there as the sun finally starts to come out, and Slater swings and misses. Rather foul, tips one into the glove of Barnwell, who snags it before it catches the Ray Fisher Stadium turf. That'll be out number 3. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Feltner. He's got 2 on the day. And we're through 7 innings of play here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score still remains Michigan 2, Ohio State 1. You're in the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball on WCBN Sports. Michigan here looking to bring this one home, trying to keep pace with the top of the Big Ten standings. Currently in a 3-way tie for second after the win yesterday. Tied with Minnesota, or a 3-way tie for third. Tied with Minnesota and Iowa. They trail Maryland and Nebraska by 1 game in the loss column. Maryland sits at 14-5. Nebraska at 10-5-1. Michigan currently holds a 10-6 Big Ten record. Ohio State, meanwhile, tied for 11th out of 13 teams, a 5-11 record. Looking to try to claw their way back up those standings in time for the Big Ten tournament. And for the Wolverines, they'll go to their senior setup man, and Mac Lozier out of the pen. It's Alec Menard's day is done. His final line, 7 innings of work, 5 hits, 1 run, it was earned, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts on the day. The Wolverine right-handed starter. Currently in line for the win, his team leading 2-1. They'll turn it over to what is presumed the back-to-back senior arms out of the pen for Michigan and Mac Lozier. And as long as everything goes well there, you imagine we'll see Jackson Lamb in the 9th. Lozier here in the 8th will face the top of the Ohio State order. Trey Gant, Jalen Washington, and Dominic Canzone. Will be Trey Garnett stepping up to the plate. And I'm sure he is glad to see Renard out of the ball game. He was 0 for 3 against Renard. Only saw 4 pitches in total. A fly out, a line out, and a bunt pop out to the catcher Wenson. This time the first pitch breaking ball from Lozier is in there for a strike, 0-1. Legbar over at third, respecting the speed of Gant, playing in what would be the infield grass. This one is fouled back over the press box and out of play. Count's going to go to 0-2. The rest of the Wolverine infield, though, playing Gant to pole. Bernard playing almost right behind second base. Evans playing well back at first. And Kerr playing right on the edge of that outfield turf at second. Lozier, though, trying to make that a moot point as the 0-2 pitch is swung at and missed on the breaking ball for strike 3. Lozier comes in and his first victim is a strikeout victim. There's one out here in the 8th. That'll bring up the shortstop, Jalen Washington. Washington 1 for 3 so far in the ball game today. Single all the way back in the 3rd inning. Just bookended that with a ground out and a fly out. The second batter to face Lozier here in the 8th. The pitch just off the inside corner. First ball Lozier has thrown today. It's 1-0. Lozier's numbers on the season. This is his. We're going to sketch you out in a second, though, as the ball is backhand on the short, hop by Bredar over at short. Made a strong throw over to Bivens at first. Once again, Michael Bredar showing off the glove over at shortstop. And a nifty play there. It was a bit of a looping liner. Bounced in front of him. He made that short hop and made it look easy. Fired over while still on the move to Bivens. Strong throw and plenty of time to get the quick shortstop over there, Jalen Washington. And now there's 2 outs, nobody on for Dominic Canzone, the way you'd prefer to face Dominic Canzone. Nobody on base. Oh, in a 1-run ball game, still capable of doing some damage. Only 2 home runs on the season, but he can get on base, extend the inning a bit. He tries to get on base here as he squares on a bunt. Can't pull back in time, according to home plate umpire David Ewell, and is down in the count 0-1. Numbers on Mac Lozier. This is his 16th appearance. He's yet to give up a run on the year. It's the second pitch of the at-bat to Canzone. Misses low for a ball, 1-1. Coming into the game, he had pitched just under 14 innings. 20 strikeouts, only 2 walks. A save to his name, and again, that sparkling 0.0 ERA. And Canzone check swung, but went around according to David Ewell at home plate. The count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Senior Lozier trying to retire the freshman Canzone. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball down and in. The same pitch he got Trey Gant to chase and swing and miss at. Canzone lays off of it, though, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lozier works quick, now comes set. Glove around the chest, takes a breath. A 2-2 pitch. Goes right back to that breaking ball low and in. Canzone once again able to lay off. Bit more hesitant this time, though. But he has run the count full, 3-2. Lozier now stands in, gets a sign quickly from Wenson. On the 3-2 pitch. Goes that breaking ball low and in again, and Canzone lays off for the 3rd straight time. Nice at bat there, worked by Canzone. He's able to work the walk. There'll be a runner on first with 2 outs in the inning. The third baseman, Brady Cherry. Cherry so far 0 for 2 on the ball game. He did walk in the 3rd. bookended that walk with a couple of strikeouts against Alec Renard. Will, of course, be his first look at Mac Lozier. Canzone takes an aggressive lead over that first. 9 stolen bases on the season for him. Not going on this pitch as the breaking ball is in there for a strike to Cherry. Count 0-1. Canzone representing the tying run over at first. Cherry the go-ahead run at the plate here in the top of the 8th inning. The 0-1 pitch as Canzone takes off. Wenson has to double clutch there. Didn't field the ball out of the glove cleanly. The throw not in time. Bernard didn't come up with the ball. Thought he had it. It looked like Canzone may have come off the bag there. Bernard was pleading for a call, but did not have the ball in the glove. So all a moot point. Nonetheless, though, Canzone swipes his 10th bag of the season. Ties him for second on the team. And now there's a runner in scoring position, 2 outs. The count 1-1 on Brady Cherry, who really just needs a base hit here to tie the ball game. That's how dominant Michigan pitching has been today. Alec Renard and even Mac Lozier here early on. Ohio State had the chance to tie this thing up. A ball low in the dirt, breaking ball that bounced in the left-handed batter's box, was stopped by Wenson there. He's able to keep it in front of him, prevent Canzone from moving up. So it'll just go down as ball number 2 in the at-bat. 2-1 the count now on Cherry. It'll be Sean Kenny out to talk to his senior right-hander, Lozier. As I mentioned, Wolverine pitching just really dominating all weekend long so far. And it seems almost improbable that Ohio State is still in this ball game. Michigan has had plenty of base runners. They've had themselves 5 hits on the ball game, as well as 3 walks and reached on an error. So they've had the base runners out there, but haven't been able to cash in except for the 2 times they have, and thus the reasoning for the 2-1 lead, despite the dominant pitching efforts of Alec Renard. Mac Lozier down in the count here, 2-1. To the third baseman, Brady Cherry. Cherry just looking to, at the very least, keep this inning alive, if not tie this ball game up. 2-1 pitch, breaking ball in the inside corner for strike 2. Nice pitch there by Lozier. Now he's 1 strike away from getting out of this with Wolverine still holding on to that lead. They'll stare in from Wenson. Flashes the signs over there. Need to see him one more time as Wenson tapping all parts of his body, then flashing down the numbers. The 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on the breaking ball. Great pitch there by Mac Lozier. Gets him out of the inning. So despite a 2-out walk, Ohio State does not score. Lozier strikes out 2 after 7.5 innings here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score still remains Michigan 2, Ohio State 1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Once again, Austin Falco here bringing you the action all weekend long. Had yesterday's game for you here on WCBN Sports. Have today's, and we'll have tomorrow's as well. Now is a 4 p.m. Eastern time start. And if the score holds as it is, Michigan will be going for a sweep. I'd like to imagine that if you're a Michigan fan, that Wolverines are able to tack on a couple more runs here in the 8th, make you feel a little bit better. But regardless what the score is, you do feel good with the lights out closer, Jackson Lamb looming in the bullpen for the upcoming 9th inning. But before we get to that top of the 9th inning, we'll have to deal with the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Ryan Feltner still in the ballgame for Ohio State, his 3rd inning of work. He'll face the heart of the Wolverine order, 3, 4, and 5. Michael Bernard, Drew Lugbauer, and Miles Lewis. As Feltner finished up his warm-up pitches, it will be Bernard taking his spot at the plate. So far on the day, Bernard 1 for 3. His one was a double back in the fourth, in which he came around to score. And that run so far is the difference in the ballgame. That Bernard's 36th run scored of the season. He has since made out into the glove of the left fielder Murray twice, once on a hard hit line out, once on a pop out, in which Murray made a diving stab. The first pitch here he sees from Feltner is a breaking ball in there for a strike. Count 0-1. Feltner, the tall righty, gets the sign and winds up. Goes another breaking ball here that misses off the plate away. Count 1-1. Bernard crouching on that right-handed batter's box. 1-1 pitch fouled straight back to the screen. Bernard right on that pitch. Not quite able to get enough of it, though, and he's down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bernard realizing he dipped his back shoulder there. Simulates that as he's doing his warm-up swing. A 1-2 pitch. This one's bounced towards third, just foul. According to third base umpire Mike Duffy. And the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Had that one stayed fair, it looked like it might have been Bernard's second double of the day down that left field line. As it stands, still 1-2. This one is fouled off of Bernard at the plate. And once again, the count will remain 1-2, but Bernard's going to need a second to walk that one off. He is wearing the protective shin pad on that front left foot of his. Sometimes just misses that shin pad, can hit the inside of the leg, on the calf area, sometimes right off the toe. As he walks it off, home plate umpire David Ewell will walk out to the mound to give Feltner a new ball himself. That one really stung Bernard. Still walking it off. High stepping around. Now walking back to the plate with the slightest of limps. He'll be down in the count 1-2 when he resumes. Looking back on some insurance runs here for Michigan in the bottom of the 8th. He's the man to try to get things started. Now another 1-2 pitch. It's fouled back out of play into the seats on the first base side. A couple young fans scrambling for the ball. And the count will remain 1-2. Another 1-2 from Feltner. This one is hit in the air towards center. Gant running in. He'll make the grab on the bottom of the block M that's on the turf here in the outfield at Ray Fisher Stadium. And so that'll go down as out number 1. 1 out, nobody on. The big Wolverine third baseman, Drew Lugbauer. Lugbauer, after a 1-for-3 ball game today, so far 2 for 3 with a double and a home run, is double the decisive run batted in as it stands at this moment. The first pitch misses low and away from Feltner for ball 1. And the second pitch here from Feltner misses low, maybe a bit in there, and the count now 2-0. Lugbauer in the driver's seat here. If he gets one over the heart of the plate, you have to imagine he's going to give a big rip at it. Wind up in the 2-0 pitch. Misses low and away for a ball, 3-0. We'll see if the power hitting lefty gets the green light here on 3-0. Pitch from Feltner. He does have the green light. He's taking a big hack at that one. Comes up empty. And the count goes to 3-1. Lugbauer is definitely trying to make that one a 3-1 ball game right here. That brings the count to 3-1. This one he hits high in the air down the left field line. It's hooking near the Wolverine bullpen. Will it get a play? It will. Over the head of Jackson Lamb, starting to warm up in that pen. And so the count will go to 3-2. Feltner, a nice job of recovering from that 3-0 start. Able to work this one full with a chance to put away Lugbauer here. Payoff pitch. Misses high and away for ball 4. Lugbauer works the 1-out walk. And he will be on first with Miles Lewis stepping up to the plate. Speaking of 1-out walks, it was Miles Lewis working a 1-out walk back in the 6th inning. The only time he's been able to reach base so far today. 0 for 2 otherwise. Thus his average has dropped just below the 300 mark. He's at 299 at this very moment. On base percentage though at 380. Getting his second at bat from the left-handed side of the plate today. Again, worked the walk last time he saw Feltner. This time he takes away, be a bit up for ball 1, 1-0. Lugbauer still not a threat to steal over there at first. Takes the lead off. Fairly conservative over there. Feltner keeps an eye on him nonetheless and fires the 1-0. Misses off the plate away, 2-0. Regardless of if a runner is a stolen base threat or not, you do have to keep the eye. You have to keep your eye on it if you're Feltner over there. We've seen the likes of Harrison Wentz already from Michigan this year swipe a bag when the pitcher wasn't paying attention to him. And after missing with the first 2 pitches of the at-bat and walking Lugbauer, the batter before, Feltner would get a visit to the mound here from his pitching coach, Mike Stafford. Stafford in a big winter coat out there. Looks to be one of only a couple players, or a couple player and personnel folks from each team to have the big winter coat on. Many of them just going with the sweatshirts today on what's a slightly chilly day in Ann Arbor, but pleasant nonetheless. Stafford will walk back to his place in the dugout. Buckeye infielders will walk back to their places on the diamond. And Feltner will get his sign from the catcher Barnwell. Get ready for the 2-0 pitch to Lewis. Comes set. And a pickoff throw chases Lugbauer back at first. He's in there standing with plenty of time. Lewis ready, crouched out in that left-handed batter's box. Way up near the plate. The 2-0 pitch bounces in the dirt for a ball. Count goes to 3-0. And there is some action in the Ohio State bullpen. As with the Michigan bullpen, we know it's Jackson Lamb down there. Can't quite get a clear view of who it is down there in the Buckeye pen warming up. We may find out soon, though, as that pitch misses high for ball 4 and a second straight walk. Puts runners at first and second base. With 1 out here in the inning, and Nick Boye stepping up to the plate. A lot of running back and forth from the Ohio State bullpen to the Ohio State dugout and vice versa. It'll be the first baseman Coolin walking over there to the pitcher Feltner, trying to chat him up a bit, maybe stall. There will not be a pitching change before this at bat though, as Boye steps in. Runners on first and second, 1 out. He'll get his second chance at Feltner on the day. This time he misses high and away for a ball. The 6th straight ball thrown by Feltner. So Boye ahead in the count. We'll see if he's taking until he gets a strike. Boy, Feltner's kind of lost his command. It wouldn't be a bad idea. So this one misses low and in. Boy skirts out of the way of that one. And the count goes to 2-0. 7 straight balls now. Thrown by Feltner. He's walked the last 2 batters he's faced. Now Poirier ahead in the count, 2-0. Waits this one. Swings and lines one into left center field for a base hit. Lugbauer is going to come around to score. The ball gets past the left fielder, Murray. Lewis being waved around. He's going to come in to score. And Nick Poirier driven in 2. He stands at second with a double. And Michigan gets those insurance runs they wanted. They're now lead by a score of 4-1. Great clutch hitting there by Poirier. Shows how much I know talking about taking till you get a strike. He's ahead in the count 2-0. He got a strike and lined it into that left center field gap. I imagine he'll go down as a 2 RBI double. At the very least, he's going to get 1 RBI for his troubles with the Lugbauer being driven in. Lewis hustling all the way, was able to score once Murray took what looked to be a bad angle on the ball and let it get past. We will have a pinch runner out there at second for Nick Poirier. It's going to be number 5, Christian Bullock, the freshman outfielder. So Bullock out there on second. We'll have to wait for any action as it'll be Ohio State head coach Greg Beals out of the dugout. He will be making a pitching change. Ryan Feltner's day is done. Pitched really well until really this 8th inning. Got into a couple jams earlier on, but able to work out of them. Now here the command just seemed to disappear after getting Berdard to fly out. Walked the next 2 batters. Now gave up the double to Nick Poirier on a 2-0 count. He won't get a chance to face Jonathan Engelman. He hands the ball over to his reliever and makes the long walk, rather the long jog back to the Ohio State dugout. We'll get the name and number for you in a second on the Ohio State pitching change. Right now, it's like a good time for a quick game recap in case anyone's joining us here in the late innings. It was Ohio State and Michigan each scoring a run in the 3rd inning to open scoring up. Michigan scored a run in the bottom of the 4th then after that to go ahead 2-1. And then no more scoring until here in the bottom of the 8th, where Nick Poirier just delivered a 2 RBI double and put the Wolverines ahead by a score of 4-1. So coming out of the bullpen here for Ohio State looks the junior right-hander Kyle McCulloch. Mahalik so far on the air, the sidearm throwing Mahalik, that is. This will be his 19th appearance on the season. He sits at 1-2 with a 3.50 ERA and 18 innings of work. He struck out 10, walked 4. And opponents hit 243 against him. He'll be coming in to try to keep this just a 3-run game in favor of the Wolverines. In order to do so, he will face Jonathan Engelman, barring a double play. Also, Jimmy Kerr. Should one or both of them reach, it'll be the catcher Harrison Wenson, looming large in the hole. So Mahalik is done warming up now. It's a bit of a pep talk from his middle infielders. I'll take his place on the mound and try to face Jonathan Engelman here. Engelman 0 for 3 on the ball game, reached in on an error back in the 5th. Otherwise lined out to center and rounded out to first. Pollock stares in, gets a sign from the catcher Barnwell. Comes set very hunched over. And the sidearm first pitch of the at-bat is in there for a strike 0-1. Engelman with the 0 for 3 day. His average, like Lewis, just barely dipping below 300 at 299. But also like Lewis, his on-base percentage very solid up there at 386. Now Mahalik coming set, very crouched down. Bullock dancing out there at second base. Looked like he might have been able to time up Mahalik there. Mahalik would have thrown the pitch. I think Bullock would have been off and into third easily. So Mahalik realized what was going on, spun back and made Bullock touch back up at second base. Bullock dancing out there again, but Mahalik throws the 0-1 pitch, misses low and into Engelman, the count 1-1. So far, not overwhelming velocity out of the right-handed sidearm thrower Mahalik. But did appear to throw Jonathan Engelman off just a bit, especially with that first pitch. Trying to see a different arm slot than they've seen in the ballgame today. A big swing and a miss here sends Engelman down to a knee. The count's going to go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Engelman gets his sign from head coach Eric Bakich in the dugout. Now just the helmet, stares at the bat, takes his deep breath. Now stands in there. His normal pre-pitch routine. Now the 1-2 pitch from Mahalik is not going to come quite yet. Mahalik spins back towards second, doesn't attempt to throw, but Bullock dives back in safely. Again, Bullock out there pinch running for Nick Poye, who just delivered a 2 RBI double to extend the Michigan lead to 3. Mahalik trying to stun the damage here. The 1-2 pitch is fouled back to the bricks behind home plate here by Engelman. Count will remain 1-2. Engelman just trying to stay alive here. Again, a rough start to the weekend for him. 0 for 7, but once again, put the ball in play all 7 times, and even reached base once in there. See if he can at least keep the streak of putting it in play alive. He's going to have to wait, though, as this one is missed. This pitch misses well outside for a ball. And the count goes to 2-2. Mahalik taking his time up there. Not helped by the slow approach by Engelman. As now the sign finally comes in, and the 2-2 from Mahalik. Misses low and in for a ball. Run the count full, 3-2. Wolverines all day today have taken a very patient approach, running full count after full count. If my count is correct, that is 9 full counts on the day for the Wolverines. We'll see how this one ends up here as the 3-2 pitch from Mahalik. It's a breaking ball that is popped up by Engelman. He's upset with himself, thought he had a good pitch that he could drive. It's the shortstop, Washington, out into shallow left field to make the grab for out number 2. So with 2 gone now, the runner still on second. It'll be second baseman Jimmy Kerr stepping up to the plate. Kerr 2 for 3 on the ball game today. Had himself a double in the 3rd and a single in the 7th. Now he is 2 for 2. The other at-bat of his was a sacrifice bunt. And with the limited playing time Kerr has had so far this season, every hit gives a nice boost to your batting average. He came into the game batting .290 all the way up to .312 coming into this at-bat. Before Mahalik attempts to retire the suddenly on fire Kerr. He'll get a visit to the mound from his catcher Barnwell. After the very brief meeting there commences, Barnwell takes his place behind home plate. And Mahalik is ready to attack the left-handed hitting second baseman, Jimmy Kerr. First pitch there, misses low and away for a ball, 1-0. Kerr filling in for the injured Akeo Thomas, which hurt a couple weekends ago in a series against Indiana. Yet to be seen since. As Kerr now waits the 1-0 pitch. This one misses low and away again for ball 2. By design or just missing his spots, Mahalik has missed off that low outside corner twice against Kerr to start the at-bat. Ohio State infield playing Kerr to pull. The second baseman pull is several steps into the outfield. Shortstop Washington shaded over near second. As the 2-0 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. As the Wolverine fans here might have thought that one missed a little bit low, maybe a bit outside there. But umpire David Ewell, at the very least, giving Mahalik the benefit of the doubt with that 2-0 pitch. And now the 2-1. Kerr fouls this one off. Out of play. Over the stands on the left side. Count will even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kerr's double back in the third. Also a 2-strike hit. Has shown some poise up there, even when base is being set down on strikes. Try to do it one more time here. The 2-2 pitch from Mahalik misses low and away for a ball and run the count full to 3-2. The 10th full count work today by the Wolverines against Ohio State pitching has really just worn them down. First, there was the starter, Connor Curlis. Michigan was able to chase after 5. And it was the reliever, Ryan Feltner. Michigan chased just earlier this inning. This time, Kerr bounces one towards second and goes through the legs of the second baseman pole. A run's going to come around to score. A costly error there by Pole. And Michigan's going to take a 5-1 lead. And with Jimmy Kerr standing on second, that was the chance Ohio State had to get out of the inning, keeping this just a 3-1 ball game. And just straight through the wickets of Pole over there at second base. Not much to be said for that one, other than it was just a routine play and just flat out missed it. And the inning continues here. 2 outs, runner on first. Harrison Wenson stepping up to the plate. First pitch to Wenson is hit high in the air towards right center field. The right fielder, Canzone, moves over to make the grab for out number 3. But Michigan tacks on 3 more runs that inning. A 2 RBI double from Nick Poirier and a run-scoring error made there at the end of the 8th inning. We head to the top of the 9th. Michigan leading Ohio State by a score of 5-1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. So it will be the lights-out closer for the Wolverines, Jackson Lamb, entering the ball game here in the top of the 9th inning. Lamb's numbers just exemplary on the season. 18 appearances. He's a perfect 9 for 9 in save opportunities. Also have a 2-0 record, a sparkling 0.00 ERA. Only giving up 1 run in the season. It was unearned. And in his 20 innings of work, he struck out 17, walked 6. Opponents only hit 162 against him when they step up to the plate.
Number 10, Jackson Lamb.
There's a reason the senior right-hander is the Wolverines closer. He comes in and shuts down whatever team he faces. You've seen it against the likes of Oklahoma, Illinois, Penn State, Indiana, just about anyone that's going to come up. Jackson Lamb willing to set them down. He has a little bit of a cushion to work with here. This is not a state opportunity. Michigan leading by 4 runs. Had the error not been committed at the bottom of the 8th inning, it would be a save situation. I said Lamb just looking to close this out. Get some revenge on Ohio State for last season's beatings. And when Lamb finished up his warm-up pitches, he'll face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the Ohio State order to start things off. Bo Kulin, Jacob Barnwell, and Connor Pohl. As they're looking to send these fans home happy from Ray Fisher Stadium today. As the sun comes back out for a brief period of time, and it looks like we might have some extended sunlight here based on my rough estimation of looking up at the sky. We have some sunlight to finish out this game, and at least for the next several minutes, we'll have a nice sunny atmosphere here as Kulin steps in. The first pitch he sees from Jackson Lamb is in there for a strike, 0-1. Lamb gets his sign, comes set, the 0-1 pitch. Fires that one in there, but misses low for a ball, 1-1. Lamb. Tall, intimidating presence out there on the mound. Stands at 6'6", 205. He fires that one and just misses off the inside corner to Kulin for a ball, 2-1. You notice the uptick in velocity when Jackson Lamb comes into a ball game. Today is no exception as the 2-1 pitch is swung at and fouled down the left field line over the Wolverine bullpen, out of play. The count will run to 2-2 on the first baseman for Ohio State. As the teams in front of the Michigan dugout being encouraged to make noise here as that one is bounced towards first. A play bobbled on the short hop there by Bivens, not able to come up with it. So Kulin will reach base here to begin the 9th inning against Jackson Lamb, a sight you don't see too often. To see if he's given the infield single. If that one's come down as the first error of the day on the Wolverines, it will indeed go down as an error. So runner on first, nobody down. And it'll be Jacob Barnwell stepping to the plate. First pitch he sees is a strike from Lamb, 0-1. And those insurance runs look huge right about now. Instead of the tying run on base, the tying run is still in the dugout. And this 0-1 pitch is fouled back over the right side, now to play. Count will move to no balls and 2 strikes. And the tall right here comes set with the glove outstretched in front of him, the outstretched arms. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3. Blew it right past Barnwell there for his first strikeout of the game. There's now 1 out here in the 9th inning. That'll bring up the second baseman, Connor Pohl. You've got to imagine here, if you're Connor Pohl, very anxious to try to make up for that error from last inning. Was the error that made this a non-save situation. The least he can do to help his team out would be to get on base. I'm sure he'll be eager to try to make up for that. And he is eager as he swings at the first pitch and fouls it straight back to the screen. The count 0-1. Not much luck today so far for Pohl in his first start of the weekend. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. All 3 of those at-bats coming against Alec Bernard earlier in the ballgame. The 0-1 pitch from Lamb is once again fouled straight back to the screen and pulls down the count 0-2. Hold the first of a couple of hitters to seemingly really keep up with Jackson Lamb's fastball. Has fouled it back to the screen twice. See what Lamb decides to go with here on 0-2. He comes set, and here's pitch. He goes to that fastball. It's line down the left field line, hooking fair off that wall in left field. Lewis gets on it quickly and fires it back into third base. So Coolin unable to advance to third on the play. That runs a long single off the wall for Connor Pohl. So he'll be on first. Coolin on second. 2 runners on. That'll bring up the left fielder, Shea Murray. And just like that, the tying run is on the on-deck circle. Only 1 out here in the 9th. And it will not be Shea Murray coming in to hit against Jackson Lamb. We'll have a pinch hitter. We'll get the name and number for you in just a quick second here. But for now, Jackson Lamb is ready to face Tyler Coles, number 12, as he bounces the first pitch in there for a ball, 1-0. Coles pinch hitting today in about 96 games so far this season, has a 198 batting average, but a 336 on base percentage. A good keen eye, able to work the walk very well. But he hits this one high in the air towards right field. Engelman camping out underneath it. Rounds behind the ball to prevent Coolin from thinking about tagging up. He wasn't tagging anyway. But Engelman records the out for out number 2 in the inning. Now 2 gone. Runner still on first and second. It'll be the designated hitter, Andrew Fischel, representing Ohio State's last chance. If you're Jackson Lamb, the ideal situation is just to keep that tying run in the on-deck circle. Retire Andrew Fischel here and get out with the W. Fischel so far on the day, 1 for 3. Single fly out, line out. And he flies this one towards left field. Lewis going back near the wall. It's going to bounce off that big brick wall. 1 run is going to come in to score as Lewis fields it back in. That'll be a double off the bat of Andrew Fischel. An RBI double at that. And the score now sits at 5-2 Michigan. Those insurance runs look even bigger now. But the tying run has now come up to the plate for Ohio State in the form of the top of the order leadoff hitter Trey Gantz. Great hitting there by Andrew Fischel. Clutch hitting there to line one off that big brick wall in left field. Just the second run scored off of Jackson Lamb all season long. It was unearned, though, because that runner, Bo Coolin, reached on an error. So the ERA still sits at 0-0-0, but the first pitch here to Gant misses low for a ball, 1-0. Lamb's control's been a bit spotty, especially when you consider his past work. Just trying to get out of the inning here. 2 gone. He dots that one on the outside corner right after I said his control might be a little spotty. He hits his mark exactly on the spot, and just about an unhittable spot for Gant. The count goes to 1-1. Gant now stays at left-handed batter's box, bounces one towards second. Kerr fields, throws to first, and this ball game is over. Michigan wins by a score of 5-2. They've taken the first 2 games in this 3-game series against rival Ohio State. And this one once again behind a strong outing by their starting pitchers. This time around it was Alec Renard. Renard on the ballgame today will get the win and move to 6-1 after his 7-inning, 5-hit performance, which he only gave up 1 run, walked 1, and struck out 8. Meanwhile, for Ohio State, it'll be Connor Curlis taking the loss. He went 5 innings, he had 3 hits, only 2 runs, walked 2, struck out 4. His record will fall to 3-3 No save recorded on the ball game for Jackson Lamb, but he is the one that closed it out. And that will do it here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The final line scores: Ohio State 2 runs on 7 hits. They committed 3 errors in the ball game. Meanwhile, for Michigan, 5 runs on just 6 hits. They committed 1 error in the ball game. So that will conclude things here from Ray Fisher Stadium. Once again, the final score 5-2. Michigan will look for the sweep in tomorrow's ball game at 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll have that for you here on WCBN Sports. For now, though, I'm Austin Falco from WCBN Sports. Thanking you for tuning in today. We hope to see you again tomorrow. But for tonight, we wish you a good night and a go blue.